welcome to the Nocturnal Nerdcast. I am your host, Eric. It is Tuesday, August 25th, 2026. We missed a stream last week. I'll talk more about that in a second, but I hope everybody's having a good week so far. I want to give some shout outs to a few channel members in here. We have the Maestro in the building. Good to see you. Harrison James is here. Good to have you here. Eaton Black is in the house. How are you doing? We also had a bunch of people hanging out. Good to see you guys. So let's talk a little bit about Thursday. There's a couple of things going on, right? So we've been having a lot of bad weather in my area on the East Coast. And it's just been pummeling us. We've had historic flooding 5 minutes from me that's affecting internet, power lines, things like that. So for me, it's just been a nightmare dealing with this. And I'm not even in the area where like the flooding is happening. I've got friends that live over there where they've had to like have their car fixed twice now. So a lot of stuff going on over there. So Thursday didn't happen. And then this weekend happened and we were still having storms and having trouble. So what's going to happen is this week, there will be a bonus stream at some point. I don't know when that's going to be, but there will be a bonus stream this week. I'm trying to figure out what day I want to do it. Also, I don't know if Darren's going to be here tonight. He might even be in the chat right now, but we're doing something on Thursday. I don't know exactly what the plans are, but there'll be something on Thursday. So there's a lot of things going on. And I have my Copecast tomorrow. So that's going to be interesting. There's a group stream that I'm going to be watching. And we have a super chat about that here from Mocracy, a 199 super chat. Have you seen the Jesterbell X Emily Butler stream? Yeah. I've seen part of it. I've got it bookmarked. We might dive into that whole thing tomorrow on the Copecast. I don't know yet. We did a Jesterbell Copecast last week, so I don't know if we want to do a Jesterbell Copecast this week. We'll see. I've got it bookmarked though, so I know it exists. It is out there in the world. What's up, South Texas Chart? Good to see you. Jose is in the building. How are you? What's going on, Cameron? How are you doing? Yeah. So here we go. I did see a comment from Jose. R.I.P. Dolly Parton. Yeah, I actually woke up to this news because I worked last night. I had a gig and I was out very late. And I woke up and I had like 5 text messages about this. And so it's really sad. I know a lot of people in my life. Dolly Parton was she was beyond a generation. Like she's an artist that she had fans that were 5 years old. She had fans that were 80 years old. You know what I mean? So like she was beyond all of that. And she didn't get involved in drama. She wasn't somebody out here saying stuff one way or the other. She really was about love and loving everybody and just a very, very kind soul. So, yep. R.I.P. Dolly Parton. Sad to see her go. So Maestro says she was legendary. Yep. I agree. Just your casual viewer says, how's it going, Eric? Congrats on reaching 10K subs. By the way, just noticed that. Actually, yeah. So if you are on my Debunks channel, I don't know what happened. I don't know what it was, but my goal for the year was 10K. Like that was my goal for the entire year was to get to 10K. I'm already almost at, 10,200 now. I don't know what's going on, but thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. If you're on the Debunks channel, thank you so much for watching and subscribing. I really it's been going crazy. And on my Reloaded channel, not quite as dramatic because I've already, I think I've got like 22,000 something on my Reloaded channel, but subs are going up over here too. So thank you guys on the Reloaded channel as well for doing that. It means so much to me. And, to see that what I'm doing is resonating with people. So I just really appreciate that. CJ says, I finished watching your recent video where the creator, I forgot his name, asserted that Lanterns expected to have so many viewers, but that same applies to the new Spider-Man. The new Spider-Man. Which new Spider-Man are you talking about? I'm not sure which one. New Spider-Man. The Spider-Man movie? You have to clarify, CJ. What's up? Dr. Midnight, good to see you. Good to see you. Brand new day. No, TV shows and movies don't function the same. They're not, movies have a different fall off than TV shows do because it's like they're in theaters for like 4 or 5 weekends, whereas TV shows typically go on for like a couple of months. So there's a different level of fallout. Plus it's a different audience. It's not the same. I've covered Brand New Day extensively. You can ask anybody here. Like we've done so many streams about Brand New Day. Matter of fact, I think my Tuesday stream last week was talking about Brand New Day breaking 2 billion. So yeah, we cover Brand New Day quite a bit. Yeah, Harrison, we'll talk about that later on in the stream. I'll do a spoiler notice for that because it's Tuesday. I'd like to give people at least one more day to watch. Parallax says this year has been owning the grifters. Odyssey broke them, and now Lanterns and making them seethe too. It's really interesting, right? So we had Mandalorian and Grogu, which for me was always a wild card. I wasn't sure if Mandalorian and Grogu was going to do well. I thought it would do better than it did, but I wasn't sure how well it was going to, how far we'd go with Mandalorian and Grogu. But again, we see that like making the TV stuff that's exclusively on TV into movies might not be the best decision. I don't know if it has anything to do with just Mandalorian and Grogu because we saw the same thing happen with the Marvels. So it is quite possible that focusing films or like putting films in theaters based on TV IPs might not be the best decision. I don't know if I'd have to sit down and look at all of it, but I think that's the big takeaway from that. But then we had, Supergirl that shockingly underperformed. I was very unimpressed with Supergirl, but I wanted it to be good. The weird thing about Supergirl was it was the opening weekend, right? The Supergirl thing is weird because it was the opening weekend. Typically, your opening weekend is the hype weekend. It's going to be your biggest weekend. It's going to be the weekend where you hopefully match whatever your budget is. Because you're not going to make all your money back, but you can match your budget in your opening weekend. So that's always a good thing. The opening weekend is typically built on hype and momentum. And we see that we didn't have that with Supergirl. And so Supergirl didn't do good on that opening weekend. So now we have a situation where after Supergirl, we've just had huge swings, right? So we had Odyssey. By the way, Odyssey is really funny because these guys, a lot of the channels we watch, went above and beyond to try and make the Odyssey look bad. They went on TV shows. They went on different podcasts. They said people were going to reject it. They did everything they could to make the Odyssey look bad. And it broke $1 billion. And it was well received. So that was one of those trifecta things, right? So broke $1 billion, critics liked it, fans liked it. The 3 things that they typically go after. But when they can't do that, it's just boring to them. And not the fun kind of boring where I say I'm bored. Like that's what they say about it as a pejorative, right? So then we come to Spider-Man. They're like, we're not going to touch Spider-Man. As we got closer to Spider-Man, we're not going to touch Spider-Man because they saw the writing on the wall. So, but I do have the receipts. Like a couple years ago, they were flop watching Spider-Man as well, which ended up being completely wrong. As they were wrong about that, but they stayed away from Spider-Man for the most part. Before it came out, I actually think hiding Jean Grey helped them or helped the movie not get attacked because by hiding that character, they couldn't talk about her until after the movie came out. And then they couldn't grift off of it because people got to see it. The guys that make these negative videos make all of their money before the movie comes out. So they couldn't do any negative grifting off of that. So you had that issue. Spider-Man did really well. And so Lanterns comes out, has an incredible opening weekend. I did the Aaron Fisher video today. If you didn't watch it, it's on the Reloaded channel. I didn't do a debunks video today. I didn't have time, but there is a video on the Reloaded channel where I'm talking about Aaron Fisher's opinions on, Lanterns. But we're now seeing people reviewing Lanterns that aren't even watching the show. They're not even watching it. At the very least, you could watch the show. If you're going to shit on it, if you're going to attack it or whatever you're going to do when it comes to the show, you could, at the very least, it's an hour of your time. You could watch it. But now we have people who are trying to grift off of Lanterns outrage that aren't even watching the show. That's just so fucking lazy. And I don't think Clayface is going to be bad. I think Clayface is going to do respectable. Doomsday, by the way, I'm so lucky I got tickets. Every theater in my area is sold out of Doomsday showings for the opening weekend. Every single one. I don't know when we're going to see those numbers anywhere, but every single theater is completely sold out. And today, I had to buy tickets for Encore, which, by the way, they went on sale today, I believe. So if you want to watch in-game Encore, get your tickets now. Because I had to dig to find tickets for that. Fandango was the only place I could get tickets, and they did second chance tickets. So Dune is going to be good for them. I don't see what they're going to, they're going after Lanterns because Lanterns is one of those things where they're trying to ride the wave of the contrary fence-sitting critics. They don't have a choice. They do not have a choice. But the really tough thing is YouTube changed its viewership metrics. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but they changed their viewership metrics. Thank you for your comment, by the way. Where now 1 second of the video counts as a view. So we're in a situation where as soon as someone clicks on a video and I go, hey, that counts as a view. It doesn't change the money that we make off of them. Like if you got ad revenue set up, it doesn't change that, but it counts as a view. So now we're going to see inflated numbers on every channel, including their channel. So I don't know what that's going to look like at the end of the day. Naruto here says Iowa AG is suing California for blocking the Paramount and Warner Brother merger. Good luck with that. Good luck with that one. Hold on. I'm going to look something up. I just want to make sure I have the right information before I comment on this. Okay. So this is legally it's not possible. Iowa can't sue California in a meaningful way. It's political performative theater is what it is. So, I mean, I guess people that like to live in their little echo chambers will be happy about it. But yeah, it's, can't do anything about it. We are going to talk about the Paramount thing here in a second, though. Wayward Dawn here, Cody with the $5 super chat says He-Man being number one on streaming for 4 weeks is kind of insane. I don't think He-Man is a bad movie. I've said that I have my issues with He-Man, but I don't think He-Man is a bad movie. I think that what we're seeing is that the Gen X group, the ones that aren't going to theaters, are watching stuff at home. We're seeing that shift, right? So we're seeing that people, the Gen Xers and the boomers who aren't going out to theaters are waiting for it to come out on streaming, and that's where they're going and supporting it at. So that's why I think we're going to see a shift. I think home entertainment is going to start catering more towards the older demographics. Like anything we get for us, for my group, that's specific for my group is going to be on streaming at home. And all the stuff that we get for like the millennials and the Gen Z and all that is going to be in theaters and event type content. Because I just feel like that's the way we're going with it, to be quite honest. We'll see though. We'll see. But He-Man, it wasn't my favorite movie, but I didn't think it was a bad movie, if that makes any sense. We have, let me scroll through the chat here. Oh, Joe, why are you not in the stream? Why are you in the chat and not in the stream? Makris says, why don't they want Marvel and DC to do well? Because they make money by Marvel and DC underperforming. I've covered this pretty extensively. If you guys have watched my videos, they don't care about movies being better. They actually make more money when movies don't do well. That's their favorite thing, is to watch movies fail. You can't, if you look around on YouTube, the channels, you either have the extreme hype channels, the ones that are just like overwhelmingly fakely excited about stuff. And I say that tongue in cheek a little bit because I know some people are just genuinely, they're excitable people, but there's a lot of channels where it's like everything is a moment. I don't buy it. I don't buy that. I don't buy that everything's a moment. I don't think that everything, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. Like, I don't buy that for every movie that you go and see in theaters, right? So unless you're doing that level of like hyping, or you're absolutely taking a big fucking dump on a movie, YouTube goes, hey, we're just going to stick you in the middle. So channels that do that don't get promoted in that way. You need a certain type of thumbnails. You need some sensational, titles. I try to go with the sensational titles, but I try not to cross the line of like, this is not something that I'm actually talking about. I think a lot of channels don't care about that. Like they'll say, you'll see like a picture of, William Shatner from Star Trek, right? He's on the cover, and then you'll see him saying like, fuck you to someone. It's like, he didn't say that. He didn't say fuck you to somebody, but they put that in the thumbnail and people click on it because that's what YouTube promotes. So there's that. So we had somebody jump in, and I saw him on Final Fantasy 14 last night while I was leveling up. What do I mean uploading? Leveling up my Phantom Blue Mage. It's Omega Veltal, I should say. Who is reading a guide, it looks like. Oh, yes, it's a player's handbook. Got it.
Oh, hey. Hello. I was just finishing my D&D game. And decided to join. How are you all doing tonight?
Oh. You haven't been in a minute. Where have you been? What have you been up to?
Just honestly, like after my D&D game, I've just been tired, so I just go straight to sleep, and then I'll get up at like 5 a.m.
Before we get into anything too heavy, did you watch the end of X-Men 97 yet?
Yes.
Okay. We haven't really talked about this, and it's been a couple weeks, so I feel like spoilers are safe. What did you think about the way they wrapped up the season of X-Men 97?
It was good. I was kind of expecting Onslaught, but the ending we got was still pretty good. We got the Herald of Death Gambit, which was freaking cool. I didn't think we was going to go that direction, but here we are.
Yeah, I do feel like I talked a little bit about it. I think I was talking with Jake. I can't remember, but you could definitely see that they were trying something else, and then they did something different middle of the season, and they came back to Apocalypse at the end of the season. So I'm not really sure what was going on with those middle episodes, because we had a couple of cool ones. Some of them were not the best, but it's just really fucking weird how everything played out. But I will say I'm excited for season 3, and I feel like it was an interesting ending. It was good enough to keep my interest peaked or whatever. Harrison said a trailer came out for the new D&D video games. Well, if Omega's going to be here tonight, we might look at some of the trailers that came out.
Yeah,
it was Gamescom, right? Wasn't it Gamescom?
Yeah, to me and my D&D group, we were just talking about that once we ended, and it's like, first of all, if it's a warlock, why was she casting so many spells? Warlocks get 2 spell slots per day. That's it.
Yeah.
But they only get 2, but they're freaking strong. It's kind of like 2 is all you really need. But I mean, of course, they probably did that just for the video game. Sometimes for the type of game that they're going, it's going for a more action game instead of like something like Baldur's Gate 3, where it's more not really a 1-to-1 to the tabletop, but it's close enough.
Right. So are we talking, what was the name of that game? Was it, it's called Warlock? Okay.
Yeah.
I know we got a Witcher 3 update on Songs of the Past.
Yeah,
Metro 2039 seems interesting.
yeah. I played one of the Metro games. I was on the PS3. That game was really freaking good.
Yeah. We got a Silent Hill trailer. We got Exodus, which I haven't seen yet. Valor Mortis. I don't know if we watched that one. Heroes of Might and Magic 3. It's a remake. 3D remake.
Yeah, remake of an older game.
Yeah, we'll look through. We'll do some trailers for sure. And I know Cameron sent some trailers over too. We might turn this into a trailer night. It might be like a fun night to just kind of go through trailers depending on who shows up. We did get a super chat over here from Cartoon 49. Have you seen Teenage SE and Death at Camp My Sasa? I think it's Mayasa. No, I have not seen them. I had a busy weekend. I worked 5 gigs in 2 days, so I've not had a chance to see anything. But I'm planning on seeing these this week. Probably towards the end of the week. But we'll see. We'll see if I get there. Have you don't see movies regularly, so I'm pretty sure you haven't seen these yet, but
only certain movies that hold my interest, usually either a comedy or like usually mostly the comedy, action, or sci-fi. And they don't make too many of those games outside of the Marvel stuff, so yeah, probably just
I don't know a lot of, so I'll be honest, I don't know a lot of people that still play on PlayStation anymore. Most people are doing like Switch 2 or PC.
I have a PS4 I don't even touch, so I'm that whole PlayStation Black. I was like, I've been doing that for like the past 3 years, so whatever.
Yeah. Good luck to anybody that's doing it. I get it. I don't play enough on the PlayStation to black it out. I just don't.
I play 99% of my games on PC anyway, so I don't give a shit.
Staggervore with a member for 11 months. Thank you, Staggervore. Anybody seeing Coyote versus Acme this week? I am. I'm seeing it on Sunday.
I might see that this Tuesday. When I get off work.
The good sign is I couldn't get tickets on Thursday. I can either watch it Thursday or Sunday. Those are the 2 days I have. Okay. I couldn't get tickets on Thursday, so it's good news. Good news. Thank you for being a channel member. Connor Dorian here with the $5 super chat says they released a trailer for the second season of Stranger Things Tales from 85. They did. Well, I'll take a look at there's a couple pages that I look at on YouTube that have trailers. I will pull that up here in a second and we'll take a look at it. I do want to talk about the Paramount thing very briefly as we start up because I want to keep everybody filled in on what's going on. The Paramount Warner Brothers merger updates or whatever. So thank you for the $5 super chat. We'll check those out though for sure. Buddy, yeah, we can watch that trailer, I think. Well, I wonder if it's if it's a Red Band trailer. I don't know if I can watch that or not. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this. And I know everybody's excited about this. I'm going to break it down for those that might not totally understand what's happening. So we have 11 states as of the time of me reading about this. We have 11 states that are trying to block this merger between Paramount and Warner Brothers. And there's a lot of reasons why people, you wouldn't want it to happen. I could name a few of them, which is a consolidation of content, access to more news networks with, foreign investors. There's a lot of reasons why you should be worried about this. But here's the interesting thing. They were supposed to have a meeting on Monday in good faith, David Ellison and Bonta here, to try and come up with a way to make this merger happen that would satisfy everybody without having to go to court. Because keep in mind, the court date is next year. So next March. So it's a ways away. And while they're waiting to go to court, a lot of projects aren't moving forward because they don't know for sure. They don't know for sure if they're going to be able to do these projects once the merger happens. So the issue is that it's stalling Hollywood a little bit. So the theater chains came out. They said, oh, you should do it. You should make it happen. But the AG doesn't buy any of this. There's nothing in writing saying that Paramount has to put out 30 movies a year. There's nothing binding them to that. Like Omega could go, hey, I'm going to give you, every month for the rest of the year, I promise you, I will come over and bring you ice cream, right? Every single day, right? And then after we shake on it and he gets a bunch of money, then he goes, hey, I changed my mind. I'm not going to do that. Oh, but I thought you said you were. I did, but I changed my mind. There's nothing legally binding for Paramount to actually do anything it's promising. So they want this merger to happen. Here's the problem. Yesterday, when they were supposed to go and talk about this, the details of the merger got leaked to the news. And the only party that could have leaked it is Paramount, because the Attorney General's office they get nothing out of leaking this. So Paramount leaked it. They deny they leaked it, but they were the only two groups in the room. So already bad faith from the jump. So the AG says, hey, we're not going to do this if you can't promise to be good faith. He wants to come back to the table. But here's the thing. He wants to break up Warner Brothers. He wants to split off portions of it. And he wants Paramount to concede to this, where they're only going to be able to buy specific blocks of Warner Brothers, not the company in its entirety. Here's the thing. Ellison ain't going to agree to that. He's paying $111 billion for Warner Brothers. That's the deal. He's got outside investors. He's answering to other people. He's taken on $80 billion in debt by doing this, on top of the money that he's borrowing. He's not going to be happy by breaking things off and then being expected to pay the same amount of money. So he's not going to concede to that. And thus, this lawsuit will continue until March of next year. Or Ellison can walk away from it. I don't see any reality where David Ellison goes, yeah, I'm going to pay $110 billion, but I'll take less than what I was getting before. That doesn't seem like a reality we live in. I mean, Omega, based on that, what do you think? I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to pay $100 billion for like 30% of Warner Brothers. He wants all of it.
The thing is, like, all these C-suite executives and CEOs and stuff, they can't be trusted, like, at all. I honestly don't know what to make of this. It's kind of, on one hand, I'm kind of like, hey, look.
Well,
businessmen are going to do what businessmen do: completely screw over a company just so they can milk it for every bit of money that they can. It's like making actual decent product doesn't really even matter anymore.
Well, I mean, let me check. I believe, and I had it somewhere the other day, that Paramount has put out nothing but stinkers this year in terms of movies. Let's see. The only profitable movie that they've had this year was Scary Movie. That's the only one. Paw Patrol 3 underperformed, Jackass underperformed, Passenger underperformed, the Billie Eilish tour film underperformed. So they can't even produce hits for their own company. And these are the people you want to have buying Warner Brothers? Come on. Staggervorth, the 199 Super Chat says, how do you think the saga will end? I don't know how it's going to end in the sense of like which step is going to be the final step. But I think it ends with Paramount not getting Warner Brothers as an entire company. That's what I think. I think if David Ellison wants the company, he's going to have to make concessions. He's going to have to make agreements. And that's the only way it's going to happen. If not, it goes to court in March. They do not pass the antitrust guidelines because we know that they're going to suck up competition. So that's what the antitrust lawsuit is about reducing competition in the workforce, which affects jobs, that affects ancillary businesses. I think the AG wants him to also confirm that he's not going to fire a bunch of people. That was one of the speculations. Because right now, Disney, okay, so this is the crazy thing. Disney is still laying people off. As of today, I saw on the news today, Disney wants people to take severance packages and early retirement packages to leave or lose their jobs. This is still from that Fox acquisition. They still have departments that are overlapping with each other. They had separate marketing departments for each studio. They consolidated that and compiled it into one department, which means all of those departments are going away. So they're still firing people. All of this, to me, is going to be used in court against Paramount. All of it. Because we have a real-time example of what will happen if this merger goes through. And so I think it ends with either Paramount not getting Warner Brothers at all and walking away without even like they don't even get a toy. They don't get a consolidation toy at the party. They just go the fuck home. And they spend money too. They paid for all the pizza at the party and they get nothing. They don't even get to take a slice home with them. Or they concede and they might get half of the pizza they paid for, which is what we're going to see with Warner Brothers. So I think that's what's going to happen, but we have to still wait and see, where it goes. Yeah, Christopher, I think Warner Brothers not being sold is probably the most ideal outcome. But yeah,
I think it's going to happen.
You think it will or it won't?
I think it will happen, and a bunch of people are going to get fired for no reason. That's been happening across multiple industries for the past year and a half.
I want to bring this up quickly. Someone sent this to me. So I guess we're not going to have another flop. Avengers Endgame's Encore bundle is officially sold out at a $50 bundle for one ticket. So you can still get tickets from Fandango as of right now, but you can't get the bundle anymore. I'm telling y'all, don't bet against this. Don't bet against Doomsday. South Texas Shark with a $2 super chat says, Omega thoughts on Star Citizen live stream. Did you watch it?
Boy, do I have an opinion on that. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Because
why do I fear where this is going?
Nope. Oh, wait, hold on, because I need to see what this looks like on it. Okay, here we go. I play Star Citizen. I had the VKBs to prove it. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me hide this because I'm actually working on something that's not suitable for.
Oh no! Yes, please don't do that.
I actually have Star Citizen. So, with that, I can say this without anyone be to jump on the back and go, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, because I know a lot of people who criticize Star Citizen, the cultists come out and try to defend it. Star Citizen is the best goddamn space simulator I have played in my entire life. However, it is riddled with so many freaking bugs. Like, for a while, elevators will kill you. Elevators. If you could ask Cyber Ninja this. If you stand in front of a elevator, you hit the button, there's a chance it will clip you under the ground and you just fall beneath the geometry and everything. They've since then, it's been a while since that's happened to me. Like almost like I want to say like a year, like a solid year before that happened. Since that's happened, they've gotten a lot better with stuff like that. However, there's still lots of problems where that game had. There's still lots of problems that game has. Is what I'm trying to say. I seen that live stream because what they did was actually, first of all, they hired this Star Citizen streamer to actually work for them to do stuff just like this. I never rewatched the guy, but apparently he's like super popular with a lot of others. Yes, elevators could. That hasn't really been a big issue nowadays, but there's other bugs that will completely.
Darren, why are you not in the stream?
Make a long
Everybody's
story.
in the chat. They're not here.
Yeah, damn. You're like, yeah, where are y'all? Come on in here. But
Oh wait, no, he is here. He's
oh,
he was hidden. I've got 2 rows of tabs. I could see, like, I saw fingers at the bottom of the screen. I was like, wait, hold on, he's in here.
Why aren't you here? I am here. Hello.
but yeah,
Oh no, that was hilarious.
And I'm looking. And another thing, I've spent in the hundreds on ships in that game, so I'm invested. But because basically what that live stream did, because the whole premise of it was they're reintroducing an event that they had where called the Siege of Orison. Basically, you have to go through like a certain tower that's in this one part of the planet. It's been taken siege. That's the Siege of Orison. You have to go in and liberate it and all that stuff. They were supposed to do that on the live server, just to say, yeah, okay, here's a short preview of the new mission type or whatever. But the current, what they call the PTU playtest, the live playtest server, is completely borked. Like, trying to do the simplest things on that server is just so screwed up. So basically, what they did, they actually took some of the developers to run through this mission, and they completely fucked it up. It's like, no, it's basically kind of like, okay, I can't open this chest. I'm stuck. Could you throw me to get me unstuck out of the chest? Okay, cool. Oh, I lost my weapon because you threw me to get himself unstuck. That is a common bug. And it's kind of like, well, it's kind of a good and bad thing. It's kind of like, on the good side, it's kind of like, finally, you're playing your own game that doesn't fucking work half the time. This is what we've been going through this entire time. And it's kind of like, the bad thing is, it's like, yeah, it's got more people talking about, oh, Star Citizen is a scam. And it's like, when they see stuff like this, it's not helping the argument. And it's like, over 13 years, they've raised over $1 billion. And it's like, where's the fucking game?
That's right. The game's still isn't officially out, right?
No, it's still in alpha.
Okay, well, there we go. So,
it's like
I'll stay far away from it. I know a lot of people love it. I'm not going to play it. I'll stick with No Man's Sky. It now has
it's better than No Man's Sky, but No Man's Sky freaking works.
Yeah, and it's got more stuff. So, Darren, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? You're muted, just in case you didn't know. So,
I can go on and on about that.
It's all right. So how are you doing? What's going on?
I'm good. It's been I feel like it's been an interesting couple weeks in the nerd space. But I'm good.
Any particular thing that's weird to you, like in the nerd space, like anything specific?
Well, I think you were right last week, Eric. People are being very dumb about lanterns. I've seen some of the worst things I'm going to
talk about it tonight. Again, like at the end of the stream, we'll set aside like 20 minutes or whatever to talk about it, depending on how soon we get there, because we've really just kind of been chatting up until this point. We did talk about the Paramount stuff. I will say RIP the Dream, though. Discussing fish has been banned on Twitter. So no more people to get fished. I feel like the reason why this happened is some high-profile person got tricked, and they probably complained about it, because this got so many people, and I don't even know how. Like, I remember the first time I read one, and I'm like, wait, somebody sent it to me during a live stream, and I was like, wait, this is not discussing film. I can't remember who it was that did it. But
yeah, I got caught with that too. It was like, wait, what? Because it's kind of like, wait, this is too stupid to be. Oh, it is. It's disgusting fish.
Yeah, that's the one like parody account that I'm like that I actually kind of fucked with, because it was always just like the other accounts were actively trying to trick people. I felt like Fish, I thought, was like they were just vibing, right?
But people fell for it, and they weren't even trying.
Yeah, they were just like, we're trolls. We're not disguising ourselves as anything but trolls. It's kind of like, we know what we are. We're not trying to pretend or anything. But people still get caught. I mean, because the profile picture looks like it. It's just a D and an F.
Well, I mean, it is a DF, like discussing fish. Yeah. It is real.
And it's just real looking at it at a glance. You're only seeing, like, oh, it's discussing film. But, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, RIP discussing fish. We enjoyed watching you catch people but now I guess you've been caught. Somebody finally caught the fish. So, and Chris goes, well, I permanently left Twitter, but one thing I've been willing to stay on for was discussing fish. So yeah, I'm never going back to Twitter now.
Aw.
Yeah, I told y'all what I use Twitter for, so
Yeah, we don't need to reiterate that.
I'm not going
All right, so we are 4 out of 5 super chats right now in Reloaded, and we're 2 out of 5 in debunks, which means we are almost at 1 goal. These are our options for tonight's picks that you guys can choose on. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the chat. Worst YouTube outrage channels. That's number 1. And that's more for me. So if we pick that one, it'll be my list. But then the other ones are favorite movies with women heroes. So that could be any. Doesn't matter if it's a superhero movie, a cartoon. It could be anything with a woman as the hero. The worst post-credit scenes, so stuff that you saw and you're like, either it didn't lead to anything, or you're like, why the fuck was this there? Why I sat through this whole thing in theaters or whatever. And number 4 is favorite adaptations that flopped. So things that you were looking forward to. I was inspired because of Supergirl. Like, I really wanted Supergirl to be good, and it wasn't. So that might be in my list. We'll see. But things that you were looking forward to that you thought was going to be a big hit, and then it just never happened. So there we go. So again, if we pick one, that will be on. I'll do that on a separate thing for myself, but we'll still do it. All the other ones are group discussions. So there we go. If we hit the goal tonight, and we are very close. We're only 1 away and Reloaded. So, all right, let me go ahead. I had another thing I wanted to talk about here because we're talking about Marvel flopping. It looks like Spider-Man Brand New Day has now grossed more at the domestic box office than Avengers Endgame with $858.4 million. It's almost at $1 billion. Like this could get close to $1 billion domestic, which would be insane. It's not going to get to 3 billion. I think that ship has sailed, but I think it could still get $1 billion domestic. I think that could happen or get very close to it. I was talking about this, I think before. Well, I don't know, Omega, you might have been here when I was talking about it, but Avengers Endgame Encore tickets are on sale right now. So if you want to go see that in theaters, you have to get tickets today because I'm pretty sure in the next day or so they're going to get sold out.
Yeah, I usually see it like a couple days after opening weekend, like either that Monday or Tuesdays, because those are my days off. So yes,
yeah, I think this is only going to be in theaters for 3 weekends, I believe, maybe 4. I have to double check, but yeah, let me double check. Hold on. Just want to make sure that I have it right before I give anybody bad information. Don't want to be a part of that cycle.
Yeah, because I know. Go ahead. It's just to fill in time. It's like I am so mad that Dolly Parton passed.
Oh yeah. The
orange bastard died.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, why are we losing so many great ones all of a sudden? Like, what is happening here?
All the good people are gone. All the good people are gone, and the evil ones are still here. Is it Bitch McConnell still around?
Oh, well, we don't know. Probably not. Probably not. There was a video of him sitting in session for like 20 hours, and he didn't move 1 inch. He was sitting in a chair. He didn't move 1 inch. It's like Weekend at Bernie's or something.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God.
So I was wrong. I was way wrong. It's only in theaters for 1 weekend.
What?
According to what I see here, it said they may carry over into the next week if there's a lot of demand, but it looks like it's only scheduled on a Friday through Sunday weekend. So
wait, Friday through, oh God damn it. And I go to see the movies on.
Hold on, I'm double checking another source just to see.
Yeah, double check that because it could be BS.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Like, I'm curious if those 4 minutes of footage is going to be worth it. But I don't know. With like all this marketing, you would think it would have a proper release.
Let me see.
At least like a 2 weekend or 3 weekend thing, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, usually, it's around for like a couple of weeks or something. Like, good Lord.
Yeah, it says here, according to Fandango and Atom Tickets,
damn,
major theater chains and ticket listings have officially posted all showtimes for Avengers Endgame Encore. It's an exclusive 3-day window.
Damn.
So if you don't go that weekend, which is the 24th, 25th, 26th, if you don't go that weekend, you're not going to see it.
My theater hasn't even shown it yet, so we might not be doing it.
That's kind of crazy.
We have
Let
the
me
Cars
check
free
my
release
theater
on
near
here,
me.
but
Yeah, check and see if it's in your theater. And everybody, if you go to Fandango and you have your location turned on, it will pick up the theater closest to you geographically and tell you if there's tickets available.
yeah, we don't have it at ours yet. Not to say they won't, but
Well, it says here the Russo brothers tell Fandango that Avengers Endgame Encore is required viewing for Avengers Doomsday. It's going to connect the story of the two movies. There's a natural progression from Endgame into Doomsday, which is also inclusive of all the other stories that have been playing out. Well, how can it be? So look, I hate to
call
say this,
bullshit
but
on that.
required viewing?
That's bullshit.
It's a 1 weekend re-release. Like, what does that even mean?
I don't believe that. Like, it might help, right? It might be like, here's a little thing that will, connect stuff, but you're not going to have to watch this.
Yes, Justice says Endgame is leaving Disney Plus temporarily, probably because they don't want people to confuse that with this. And they might want people to go see this. Because what I think is going to happen is after Doomsday comes out, Avengers Endgame Encore will just come out as like the regular movie, I think, at that point. Because it'll have scenes in it that are important and they don't want to get rid of them. Because I don't think it's going to alter the movie. I don't think it's going to alter Endgame's base story. I think this is going to be 7 additional minutes of stuff that's necessary for Doom.
Yeah, it's at the theater I'm at. It's only for that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. God damn.
Yep.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to call out. I'll just put time in, whatever. Dang it, I don't like putting in time.
Diamond Jim says, bet they put it on Disney Plus before Doomsday. That would be a kick in the face for all the people that went to see it in theaters. I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe like the day of, they might put it out on Disney Plus, like the day Doomsday comes out or the week that Doomsday comes out.
Maybe like a Thanksgiving Disney Plus release, like so it will have like 2 months after. I don't know, because I feel like you would have to put it out at least on digital.
But I mean, maybe for rental, but not for. I don't think they put it out for free, right?
I mean, they have to eventually.
Yeah, but I'm thinking they wouldn't want to put it out until after or till right before Doomsday comes out in theaters, like
Maybe
the weekend of,
like late November, early December.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We did get a super chat. Let me see who super chatted. Which we hit the goal, so we got 1 goal down. Thank you guys so much. It's a 999 super chat from Stagavor. We'll go ahead and drop this down. And we will move the widget over here and then pull this back up on screen. I saw a video talking about what would have happened if Marvel proceeded with the Avengers Kang Dynasty movie and it wouldn't have included the X-Men or the Fantastic Four.
No one.
I think Fantastic Four might have been a possibility, maybe, but I don't know about X-Men.
I don't think so, because King Dynasty was for 2025. Same year as Fantastic Four.
You're right.
Like, I don't.
Yeah. Well, maybe not Fantastic Four connected to King Dynasty, but I think they were still planning on doing a Fantastic Four movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, well, he's a villain for pretty much
although
all of the well, not really the X-Men
years. So maybe they were always ready for that. I don't know.
Yeah, what's really weird to me is I think back, hindsight is always 2020, right? Like you look back and you're like, well, they should have done this, they should have done that. I didn't like the idea that having Ant-Man defeat Kang in Quantumania was a problem. Like I didn't like the idea of that because I thought it was a very ballsy move to have Ant-Man beat that version of Kang, because we know there was thousands of Kangs.
Yeah, he has multiple versions.
Yeah. But looking back, it did create a problem, I think. You know what I mean? Like, I think the initial reaction of people saying, well, Ant-Man shouldn't be able to beat Kang because he's supposed to be the big bad. I do think that created a problem by using that version of Kang, because the one we got in Quantumania is so close to what the classic Kang is. Like, that was very close to what Kang is in the comics. So by doing that, I think they created a problem for themselves. Like the Kang that we get in Loki season 2 doesn't necessarily look like or feel like the Kang that we know from the comics. But the one in Quantumania is very similar to the Kang from the comics. It's almost the story is almost identical to some of the bigger Kang stories that we've had over the years. I think Jonathan Majors did a great job. But I think having Kang get defeated by Ant-Man, again, looking back at it, I think that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see what they would have done with Kang, but I just don't think there was any way for that to... I don't think it was any way for it to work. As far as the X-Men go, I don't think I needed the X-Men to be in a Kang Dynasty movie, in my opinion. I am curious, and maybe the chat knows, if there are any leaks out there of like what that script would have been that are reputable. I'm not talking about 4chan stuff or anything like that. I mean, like actual scripts that look like they could have been real scripts.
Mm-hmm.
I am very curious about that. Thank you for the super chat.
4chan and just roll my eyes instantly.
So Justin, I'm going to push back a little bit on this. I don't think good villains don't need buildup, right? Like you don't need... Like, look at Incredibles, the first Incredibles movie. We met the team and we met the villain in the same movie, and it ends up being one of the best superhero stories we've ever had. I don't think you need buildup. I think Thanos has tricked us into believing we need a villain built up, right? It's tricked us into feeling that way, because I said the same thing. Starting out, I'm like, we have not had a lot of Doom, and now we're just going to have him in a big movie. But so what? So many big villains show up in a movie, and they're one of the best villain. Like, I can think about tons of movies where we meet the villain and they end up being incredible in one movie. Like, look at something like, talk about a TV show, Jessica Jones, Purple Man. We had no build up to Purple Man, and look how great he was in that show, right? So my point is, I'm not going to judge whether or not Doom's build up is effective. I'm going to go see the movie, and then I will say, like, they should have done something prior to this. Like, I'm not going to hold that against the movie yet. Look, it could absolutely be a problem. We could go and see Doomsday and go, fuck, Doom made no sense. Like, no sense whatsoever, and they needed to do more with him. Maybe we can do that after we see the movie. But until we see the movie, I just don't see any reason to worry about Doom's build-up, in my personal opinion. Let's see, Darren sent me something. Is it safe for work?
I hope so. That's been going around these last couple.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
How legit it is, but
okay.
At the very least, it's a fun combo.
I will save it. Should we do it tonight or another time?
That's up to you. I don't know.
I'll look at it here in a second. Lone Wolf says, can't be also talk about the villain can be great without build up as well. I mean, look, to be quite honest, there are more examples of good villains that have no build up than they are of good villains that had build up. I think the biggest one is Thanos, right? That's the one that's had I mean, he had multiple teases throughout the first 3 phases, but outside of that, what other villain? Look, Darth Vader we met in the first few minutes of the original Star Wars movie, and he went on to be an incredible villain. Like, villains don't necessarily need to be built up, in my opinion.
Voldemort, right? I guess that's the only other big one I can think of.
He who shall not be named.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, is you could argue that they're just teasing him, because he doesn't really have the most we get from Thanos before we get to Infinity War is in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. That's
the most we get. So I guess maybe. But speaking of the whole Voldemort thing, did you guys see that Nicholas Hoult backed out and Kit Harington now took over the role?
Yeah, I was talking about that on Lance as well.
What's going on? What in the game of flops? I mean, this is crazy. I don't even see him as this character. Maybe he can do this character. This is one of those times where I just can't wrap my head around this this casting.
He likes a high budget HBO show, I guess.
Maybe.
I mean,
I will say it says Nicholas Hoult has left due to scheduling conflicts. I don't believe that. Let me tell you why. I think
I'm out.
No. I think there's other factors. We'll talk about those in a second. But I think that saying scheduling conflicts is the easiest thing you can do, because he was probably like, oh shit, I looked online after they announced me as this character, and I'm not doing this. I'm not going to go sit in interviews and have them ask me about how transphobic J.K. Rowling is. I'm not going to do that.
It's not the first back out we've seen. Like, we already have some recastings for season 2. I would not be shocked if that's happened with other actors and actresses and stuff.
It's a fair reason to back out. If you don't want to deal with the drama, back out of it. Like, I feel like that's fine.
It.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, like you didn't know his schedule. Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like this is like you're going to back out of a big payday like this. Like, this is a big payday for you. Look, regardless of what we think of J.K. Rowling, and there's a lot of reasons to not like her, this is a good payday for actors, which is why they get involved with this in the first place. He turned down a payday because he didn't want the drama. He didn't want to deal with the mess. And I respect the fuck out of that, because I'm like, if there's one thing that makes me happy is that somebody sees the writing on the wall and they're like, I'm backing out, I'm not doing it. Yep. I'm not going to have it. Yeah, YouTube Noob says he's not trying to do the guilt by association with J.K. Rowling project. I've said this before, though. This isn't even guilt by association. This is somebody getting paid where their money is funding someone who is adamantly against rights of certain individuals. So, yeah, it's not even just guilt by association. It's just a bad situation. Wait, who does the audiobook?
I think there's
Kit.
Connor.
Is Kit? Does he play this character in the audiobook?
I guess.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry, Kit Harington. I said Kit Connor, but
hold on. I didn't know that.
That's what people
Maybe
are
they
saying.
just were like, we just need to make this happen. Yeah. So it says that he does the Audible book. He's the one that does the voice for this character. So
okay.
he basically was. They called him up and they said, "Look, we're not going to find anybody for this role because it's too much drama. So we need you to come over and just do this character in live action."
Makes sense. It kind of feels like the God of War stuff, where like they needed someone quick and they're just like, yeah, get Dave, get Dave.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that because I didn't go live on Thursday. But we got Dave Bautista as God of War. I don't like that casting. I just don't. I like Dave. I just don't. Again, like this one, my head can't. It's like looking into a 4-dimensional universe. Like I can't wrap my head around these actors and these roles. And it's not because of any specific thing. It doesn't make sense in my mind. It's like watching an AI food mukbang on TikTok. Like it just blows my mind away trying to put all this together. Dave Bautista as the lead of God of War. I don't. Kratos to me has a very specific look, and I didn't even really care for the first casting. I was like, okay, he kind of looks like him, kind of, right? He's a guy with a beard, muscular, maybe. I'm being very superficial right now. Okay, I know I am, because I think Dave Bautista is he'll be able to do the role. I think he can. But it's just going to be I think it's going to be another version of Drax, just not as stupid.
Yeah. It feels like people saw the fan castings and they're like, yeah, just get him in here. Which is sometimes good. Sometimes, like, I think he'll do a fine job. But I think it's a rushed casting. Because I think every day they don't have a Kratos casting, they're losing money.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if I said I'm being superficial, like I called out what I was saying, but I also said that he's probably going to do good at acting. So, I mean, I think the show will be fine. Like, I believe it'll, like, with him in it, it's going to be as good as it's going to be, right? He's going to do the best he can with the material they give him. It'll ultimately come down to the writing of the show and what the directors have him doing. Because I know Dave can pull it off. I just kind of, I don't know. I kind of had a different vision in my mind of what the character was going to be. So, I don't know. They're saying it was debunked. Maybe. I don't know. Let me see.
No, I'm pretty sure it's official, I thought.
All right, let's see. We'll take that down, and we will super chat here. 499 from Staggervore. Supposedly the Batman Brave and the Bold movie is put on indefinite pause, only because of the same reason why a lot of these projects are being paused. They don't know what's going to happen with Warner Brothers and Paramount right now.
Not according to Gunn. Gunn said no. Did you see that?
What?
Gunn was like, nothing's on hold because of the Paramount merger.
I think, look, we've already said that there's certain things that people like. If you were to tell me, hey, I believe that your content is doing poorly because of this drama, and I'm like, oh no, it has nothing to do with the drama. Like, I'm not going to come out and be like, yeah, you're right, this drama is making my content suck or whatever. Like, I'm not going to say that. So, I mean, the thing is that he's got an investment in not making it look as bad as it is, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad for DC at the moment. Oh, I guess we could get into that a little bit before because we are going to talk Lanterns shortly. We're going to watch some trailers, and then at about at the 30-minute mark or at 1 a.m. Eastern time, we'll jump into Lantern stuff. So we'll do some trailers and everything. But I want to talk a little bit about we have the Gorilla Grodd show, which is the People versus Gorilla Grodd, which is the name of the show. That's it. I mean, we got Man of Tomorrow. We have that. We know Clayface is coming out. There's nothing on the horizon for DC at the moment.
I mean, Mr. Miracle as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I guess I'm thinking more high profile than that, but you're right, Mr. Miracle as well. And it makes me a little sad, not because I'm a huge James Gunn fan, but I feel like this merger is going to sort of do to the DC universe what COVID did to a lot of different TV shows and stuff. The problem is not going to be the ideas or the stuff they're pitching or anything like that. The problem is going to be their inability to allow James Gunn to make these things happen because of things outside of his control. Does that make sense? So like, say for example, if it's not the merger, let's look at it this way. Say for example, he's telling the truth. Then what's the problem? What's the issue? Why are so many projects just in limbo right now when it comes to the DCU? So many things are just, we're working on it. We're talking about it. Script might be down the pipeline. Why are so many things in that space? Because right now, next year, we have one movie from DC.
Two.
Well, DCU. We have one DCU movie, which is The Man of Tomorrow. And then we have, obviously, Batman Part 2. So we have one DCU movie next year, and we're not even talking about what's coming out the year after that?
But also, it only took them a year to film Superman, right? So they could easily next year announce, we're doing Wonder Woman, or we're doing whatever.
Yeah, but the weird thing, Darren, is they jumped on Superman so quickly.
Sure. Right?
This Man of Tomorrow thing was never really in the cards, right? This was something where it's like, we're really happy with how Superman did, so we're immediately going into like a sequel for Superman. But they jumped into it very quickly. Why was this so quick, but some of these other projects that have been on works for like 3-4 years, what's the problem with those? Why are these taking so long? It really makes me wonder, not if James Gunn is capable, because James Gunn is very talented. Like him or not, he's a very talented person, right? It makes me wonder, is it a balancing issue? Because we talked about this with Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige isn't a director. He's not a writer. He's not somebody working on one thing at any given time. He is the manager of the restaurant, and he's telling everybody else what they should be doing to keep the restaurant running. So he's not actually ringing up people, at the register. He's not cleaning the bathrooms. He's not serving people, taking their food out to their tables or whatever. He's literally just making sure that everybody that does those jobs well are doing those jobs. James Gunn is doing everything. He's not only the manager, but he's working the register. He's working the drive-through window. He's taking things out to the tables. He's cleaning up spills on the floor. He's greeting people at the door. When you've got somebody in charge of something doing all of those things, I don't know if it takes away from their ability to delegate. Because if the Batman Part 2 wasn't coming out next year, we'd only have one DC movie. And Matt Reeves pretty much did everything for Batman Part 2. You're muted, Darren.
Sorry. I would not be shocked if they're waiting to see how Man of Tomorrow does before moving forward with stuff. And we still have... I know we're supposed to be getting Dynamic Duo next year. Sorry, not next year. Wait, is that next year? What, next year's 2027?
Hold on, let me check. Hold on.
Dynamic Duo is happening. Like, it's in the works. I actually think it'd be pretty smart to not put that out next
but that's
year.
confirmed not DCU, right?
He won't say, but it looks to be not DC or not DC.
It's 2028. It's summer of
I don't think
2028.
I don't think that really matters though. Like I think as long as DC movies are still coming out, it kind of counts under the DC studios. So Dynamic Duo is 28. Okay, so yeah, have that come out as like, okay, we're still releasing something in 2028. Wait until to see how Man of Tomorrow does. If you need to pivot or you need to go a different direction. They can film a movie in a year. They have been. They like Superman and Man of Tomorrow has had like a year and a half kind of time gap. So I kind of get it, you know, like especially how.
I haven't seen Nightfall yet, by the way. No spoilers, even though I think it's based on the comic book story, but no spoilers in chat.
But I think I would not be shocked if after Supergirl they're kind of scared because they're losing a lot of money right now. So I could see them being like, wait to see how this does. If this flops as well, we might go a different direction, which sucks.
I actually don't think Man of Tomorrow is going to do as poorly as Supergirl. Like I don't know if it'll
way better. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be a better movie. But the problem is, here's the issue I see with this. If Man of Tomorrow does well, is it just like, okay, we need another Superman movie in 2 years, right? We just keep making. We love Lex Luthor. We love Superman. Keep making these movies, and let's not worry about Supergirls or Batmans in the DC or anything like that. Just keep doing Superman movies. Then it ends up James Gunn is locked in a Guardian situation where he's just doing those movies and that's it. Like, think about this. Clayface comes out in October. It was a cheap movie to make. Looks really good from all the teasers we've seen. I think it's going to probably make its money back. Why aren't we greenlighting more of those sort of A24 cheap DC properties that you can have in production to just figure out when to drop it, especially if it's a one-off story. Just give them like a one-off story. You can put it out anywhere you want, any time of the year. It doesn't tie into the greater world in a big way. Because I actually think they're waiting to see if Clayface, here's my prediction. If Clayface does really well, we will see 2 or 3 projects like Clayface get greenlit like that overnight. Yeah.
And other people will start doing it too. Marvel will be like, wait, you made all this money on a movie with what, a $90 million budget? Like we'll see a lot more other studios follow suit. But I think you're right. I think they're waiting I think they're in a, let's see how Clayface does. Let's see how people like Lanterns. Let's see how people like Man of Tomorrow. And play it by ear and just kind of watch the space. And there might be a slight dry period in 2028, but I'm trying to think because also like, because wait, no, Batman Part 2 is 2028, right?
Is it?
Yeah, it's February. So next year there's only one DC.
One that see, I think I've talked about this before. Right. I actually think that's look. I don't want to be right about this because I always wish the best for these projects. I think you need another small movie next year, something like Clayface that comes out at some point at the end of the year. It could be just pick one of the characters that you've been thinking about that you think would work. If you want to go safe, pick a well-known character that from DC someone you could do at a cheap amount of money that will be able to, pull people into theaters. I don't know. I feel like we're going to see momentum, or the weird thing is also, I think we have more DC TV projects in general than we do movie projects right now.
Yeah.
So Jay Bird says hype for Penguin season 2 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was another comment up here. Let me scroll back up.
I do think Wonder Woman is next. I have a feeling that that's their next one.
Yeah. Somebody said, so you know everything. I don't know if you're talking to me or not. I never speak like I know anything. I'm not a scooper. I'm talking about how I feel about something based on evidence that I know. That's it. I don't know everything. You don't have to listen to me. Logan with a $5 super chat says, any thoughts on Batman Cape Crusader joke? What?
I don't have to listen to you?
You do not. No, you can do whatever you want. Okay. Any thoughts on Batman Cape Crusaders Joker Riddler? They feel very flipped, but I kind of like this Joker. I don't know yet. So it's been out for a while. I feel like spoilers are okay for Cape Crusader. It's on Amazon. If you don't want spoilers, spoiler warning, because these characters are pretty big in the second season.
I didn't watch
it.
Season, but I'll just.
So the Riddler doesn't actually tell riddles, which I didn't like. I didn't like that change to the character. I felt like there was no point in doing that. He riddles people with bullets, which I wasn't a big fan of. However, I like the overall concept of the character. Like, I think he, like, as a gangster, he worked, but I would have appreciated it if he also told riddles. Even if he just said them while he was shooting people, I probably would have been okay with that. The Joker was a very dark Joker. It might be the darkest Joker we've ever had. By the end of the season, though, he monologues a lot. And the whole time I'm watching the finale, I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm so tired of you talking. He's one of those people that says, like, this is my impression of this particular Joker. And then when you see the world unfold, everything starts to fall into place. And then your memories will meld together to create a utopia of the world that you thought you knew, but you didn't actually know. And then everything makes perfect sense. This is the kind of stuff he says. And it's really like just nonsensical, metaphysical, debate bro type shit. And so Batman finally says to him, shut up or something, shut your fucking mouth. Like, he's just so tired of hearing this guy talk. And I was like, finally, he said it. He heard me when I was saying it, watching the show or whatever. I like Cape Crusader. My only issue with that show is that Batman is not very smart. He's actually one of the dumbest characters in the show because Alfred does everything and Barbara does stuff. Batman just kind of shows up. And also he gets beaten by weird gadgets where it's like, you don't have tech for that? You're Batman. So.
Yeah. I watched the first half of season 2 and I didn't like it. I didn't love it. I thought it was fine.
It tries a little bit too hard to change characters. It's like it kind of, sometimes it goes out of its way to do that. We got a $5 super chat from Forget Me Not 182. I think the merger plays a factor, but I also think WB is worried about Marvel again. Secret Wars, X-Men, Ghost Rider versus Robin animated film. I'll be honest, the slate of Marvel movies, and call me optimistic if you want, I feel like we got a solid slate for the next few years of Marvel, at least from what we know.
I think it's the greatest lineup they've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, Spider-Man, Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars, X-Men, Ghost Rider, Black Panther 3.
Shot in
Legendary
IMAX.
Run. Legendary. I don't think they've ever had anything like we have potentially.
I don't think people understand we're getting Avengers, X-Men. That's our 3 movies.
They have the potential for 4 back-to-back billion-dollar movies with Spider-Man, Avengers, X-Men.
I'm curious how much money Encore is going to make in theaters in one weekend. Like, it's only going to be restrained by the amount of theaters it's in. That's really it. So, I actually think there might be a little bit more to this too, right? People are saying that James Gunn is tapped out. He's ready to go. I don't think James Gunn, I don't buy into the trust me, bro, he's, ready to walk out the door. But I will say, imagine this. You're a director. You make all kinds of different movies. And you get a job where they say, hey, we want you to be in charge of this one specific thing. and we need you to do all of that, and you have to make movies for us for this one specific thing as often as we need you to. That almost gives you no freedom as an artist, like as a director, as somebody in the industry. You're kind of just doing the same stuff over and over and over again. And it might get to a point where he doesn't want to do it anymore, not because he doesn't love the stuff, not because they're mad about it or whatever, but creatively he might just go, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And I said this from the get-go. The beauty of Kevin Feige is he's not someone that's a director. He's not a writer. He's not an actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think after Man of Tomorrow, I hope he takes a break from directing. I hope he steps back into a more producer role for at least a little while. Let his creative juices flow a little bit. And yeah, like I think they need. It's tough because I don't think we've ever had a situation like that where someone was both producer, CEO, and director. Like he's wearing all the hats when he should be divvying up the hats to all these other people and guiding them through the maze, I feel like. But we'll see.
Let's see. Thank you for the super chat. By the way, we're 2 away in the debunks channel, so if you guys would like to hit a second goal on this, we need 2 more over there. All right, before we jump over to Lantern's discussion, we're going to go through a couple of trailers here that we didn't watch. But we do have a bit of news that Cameron sent over. Guy Gardner is going to be in the Mr. Miracle series, apparently. So that's interesting. I would much rather have Guy Gardner as our connective character than a certain individual who talks shit about Marvel. If you know who I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Rick Flag.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
He's our wall.
Yeah. There was a trailer for Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married Again? We're not going to watch that because I've heard people getting flagged for that, so we're not going to do that. Actually, anything Netflix, we're not going to watch, unfortunately. The Different World trailer, which I did like, we're not going to do that because that will... Apparently, it's becoming a problem. But we will watch the trailer for Percy Jackson Season 3. And there's another bit of news here. Disney confirms that Avengers Doomsday exclusive look that will be shown in Avengers Endgame Encore screenings are only for audiences who watch it on IMAX and Infinity Vision certified screens. They're really pushing this Infinity Vision thing, which I think it's fine. Get your bag, but I don't know. How long is the original gun contract even for? They said a decade, but
is it?
I mean,
I thought the contract was coming up soon. Isn't it?
I think there's a renegotiation period, but I think that originally it was a decade. Let me double check. Hold on. Let's see. So this member chat here from Lone Wolf. We'll watch that trailer at the end of our Lanterns discussion. We'll watch that then. Thank you for the member chat. I appreciate it. Okay, so the light contract, or the one that I guess allows them to renegotiate, is till 2027. So if he decides to renegotiate, he can end his contract term in 2027, or DC can end his contract term in 2027. However, he can choose not to renegotiate and write out the rest of his contract, which is for 10 years. Is what I found. So have a good night, Justin. Good to see you. What did you send over, dear? Let's see what you got here. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. I did see this. We'll talk about this. Move the widget up over here. Do that. I wish it would just move. Like, if they could add one thing that would be very useful is just have it move when I shift panels. All right. So, actually, I'm going to open these in different windows because they're on Twitter. They're smaller. So, all right. So here we go. This is the first one. So the color grading is going to be different for Avengers Avengers Endgame Encore. So up here at the top is the color grading. Down here is the original color grading. It looks a bit richer to me. Like it looks more saturated.
Yeah.
What do
I
you?
feel like
What do you?
never
Do you?
realize how gray it looks until people point it out.
Yeah. This looks great. Look how colorful Cap's costume is. Wow. How come I never noticed this before?
I did. I
guess
kind of just figured that's just the look they're going for because I know it's a lot of
thing. Yeah.
That just movies in general. It's like they're afraid of color.
I actually like this. Look how red Wanda is.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, I say this is an upgrade.
Oh, look at Thanos' armor. Really good. Really good. So I am already doing my rewatch right now of the important projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to watch Infinity War the night before I go to see Endgame Encore.
Oh, yeah.
So we can be ready for it. Let's see here. Close that out. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it looks great. That's a good reason to like re-release it. Like you're actually, I don't know, making it look better, which is great. Now go back and do it to like Civil War and like Age of Ultron and stuff.
Yeah,
Civil War looks rough. Like I love that movie. It's great, but some of the shots look pretty not great.
Yeah,
Civil War?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just figured that's Hollywood being Hollywood.
Sure.
You know, just
All right.
everything's all drab and gray.
We're going to do our trailer for Percy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That was it. Or they have like a piss filter over everything.
Yeah. This is going to be our trailer for Percy Jackson season 3. What did you think of season 2, Darren? I know you're a big fan of Percy Jackson, so.
I mean, I wouldn't say a big fan. Like I haven't read the books or anything, but season 1 I thought was like good. I thought season 2 was even better. I love when a show can evolve over its season. I love when a studio can give a show a chance to grow and evolve. And from what I hear, this is one of the best books in the series. So
Okay.
I'm excited to see. Hopefully, it gets even better. I love when a show can get better each season. I think that's great.
What I'm looking for in this, because I enjoyed the story so far, I'm looking for a quality increase in the visuals of the show. That's what I'm looking for in this trailer. If it can just give me a little bit more, I would be happy.
This is my favorite trailer they've ever done. Like, I watched this trailer and I was hyped. More hyped than I've ever been for this show.
Last week I had a dream. That was about the great prophecy. I saw the Olympians. And the Titans.
Ooh.
Something bad is coming.
Oh my gosh.
Do you ever
You're saying they say this is the best book?
Nope.
That's what I've heard. I haven't read them, but...
Love has the power to start wars, and it has the power to end them.
Ooh. That looked good.
If we're going to survive a war with the Titans, it will be because of love.
I think you may be getting ahead of yourself.
Really?
You didn't want her. You wanted me.
All right. I mean, the visuals look really good. I'm
The gods don't know
impressed.
where she is. I'm gonna need you to help me.
You cannot
There's a
stop
song
what's
in it.
coming. If it came down to the choice between me and Olympus, you'd burn it to the ground. Is this how quests normally go?
Pretty much.
Wow. All right. I'm impressed.
Looks
That was
good.
a great trailer. Great fucking trailer. Omega, did you ever read any of the Percy Jackson books? Or
No, I never really got into it.
The show's been really good so far.
Mhm.
Pretty impressed with it. Chat, thumbs up, thumbs down on the trailer.
Seems interesting though. Like I'm a huge nerd for Greco-Roman mythology, so
Yeah. Well, the show does a lot of that. Lone Wolf with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Lone Wolf. So is this like a remaster when an artist does to old albums as he re-released to polish it up and modernize it? You're talking about the Avengers Endgame Encore. I think they're trying to flex. Look, this might be Marvel flexing their muscles on like how to revitalize their older movies. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few years we see them go back and regrade some of their older projects, right?
What if not next year, but in 2028 we get that with like the first Black Panther? Can we fix up that third act of Black
That
Panther?
kills the movie. That would be a
It
10 out of
does.
10 movie for me if it wasn't for the third act.
I would
I
love
literally-
if we could fix that.
Literally,
Yeah.
the visual effects in the third act are why I don't give that movie a 10. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it's perfect. Killmonger, incredible. Again,
Yeah.
no build up, but absolutely incredible as the antagonist of the movie. So yeah, I would love that. I wouldn't mind remasters to a lot of them. Yeah, Thor 2 in 4K would be peak. I wouldn't mind that. I actually like Thor 2.
As long as there's still a version out there of the original. Like, I don't want it to be like a lost media thing where you can't find it. Like, have that one still there. Don't touch it. That's the movie you made. That's a movie that went through all the award shows and stuff. But then be like, here's a updated version that you can watch if you want it to look better.
Yeah, like with Lucas and the special edition of Star Wars, where it's like you can barely find the original theatrical release anymore.
Yeah, keep that. I don't like lost media. Like, that's what you submitted at the final day. That should still be there. But
South Texas Shark says, "Did you see the PlayStation email that was sent out? Oh, the one about like saying that you only rent and lease games, you're not buying them or whatever." I mean, the truth is, we kind of knew this already. I even said that. I've said this before. Anything you buy on PlayStation, you are leasing it. It's not yours to own. It doesn't make it right. I just think it was the obvious thing for me.
Yeah, if buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing.
I think this might be a big problem for Sony. I think this is going to be a big problem for Sony because telling people they don't own games, why buy them? I think everybody's going to go for that pass that they have for like $100 a year or something and just play games after they've been out for a short amount of time. And this is going to hurt the industry, I think. So the industry is going to start like less things will come to Sony. They'll probably go to like Microsoft or something like that. Like, yeah, it's a problem for them. It's a problem.
Yeah, I've said this about, well, this is sort of adjacent, but not necessarily PlayStation, well, tangentially PlayStation related, but just the industry as a whole, because basically the Saudis bought EA, that whole went through, and this isn't my analogy. I actually stole this from Castle Super Beast. If you listen to them, we're witnessing EA taking a shotgun, shooting themselves in the face, and we're seeing the slug going through their heads in slow motion. EA is dead.
Yeah.
Basically, all I want from EA is Mass Effect 4 and Jedi 3. Just give me those. The rest of it can die. I don't care.
I actually think that this entire situation is changing the gaming industry in a way that is going to kill the gaming industry. Well, because it's been so profitable for so long.
It's going to kill AAAs. Like, it's going to kill your EAs, your PlayStation, like the major big hitters. It's going to kill them. Indies, AAs, they're going to be fine because they can always self-publish. They can just go to Steam. They can just put their own stuff out there.
So let me tell you guys, let me explain why I'm saying this. I think that there were some people that were totally okay with physical media going away because they were buying their games digitally and they didn't mind, right? But now that buy button doesn't mean anything. You're not buying the game, right? So they sent out an email saying, guess what? You guys that like digital, you don't even own the games. You don't even own them. So this is why the email and all of this has changed things for everybody, I think.
And the reason why they're doing this is because they said, oh, well, digital sales are like 80% of their sales, which is, this is why I say, this is something
But they're not selling anything anymore. That's the thing, is that you're not selling something if people aren't buying it.
Yeah, here's the thing. Well, here's something that I'm starting to say. Numbers don't lie, but people can lie about the numbers. Like, say if you buy, okay, let's say if you buy a game on a disc, but you bought the physical disc, you put it in, install it, and all that stuff, but you buy DLC, you buy microtransactions. They're counting those as digital purchases.
But not only that, Omega, what about stuff that's only digital? Like stuff that doesn't have a physical copy. There's games out there that are only digital.
Yeah, they're counting DLCs, microtransaction skins. They're counting all that as digital, saying, well, look, all this is digital, so we could just get rid of physical media. When they're cooking the books, they're fixing the numbers to fit a narrative that they want. They want it so that they can control everything, and you only buy through PlayStation.
It's like saying, how can you be against AI when you're using it every day? Because we don't have a choice. Yeah. A lot of stuff is gone AI. You can't do anything about it. You can still be against it.
Yeah, they want it so that you can only buy it through PlayStation. So they can cut that shit off whenever the fuck they want.
Yeah. All right, we got some super chats, and then we're going to jump into Lantern. Oh, no, actually, one more thing, and then we'll jump into Lanterns. Silhouette Animator with a $5 super chat. Joined the stream 30 minutes and accidentally knocked over my water. What luck, using my iPad to type, but had to put down 40 for a new... Oh, my God.
Yikes.
That sucks. Sorry to hear that, but glad that you're here. Hopefully everything is okay. And another $5 super chat from Silhouette Animator says, but that hacker owns GTA 6 now, and they're like, no rules for thee, but not for you plebeians. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to pan out, because that's a different thing. Like, that's the situation where they're basically blackmailing Rockstar.
Which I don't care. They deserve it. But on one hand, I'm kind of like, my suspicious conspiracy theory brain is going like, this is probably all just marketing for freaking GTA 6.
You think so?
Something in the back of my mind is like this. It's probably just their marketing. It's probably just my cynical side saying like, this bullshit, right?
Maybe there's a hacker storyline in GTA 6, and this is them like setting that up.
Oh my God, like some ARG type. I hate that. If that's the case, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Let's see.
I see the leaks on Twitter.
Happy birthday, Jose.
Hey, actually, well, it was my dad's birthday.
So happy birthday to your dad. Lone Wolf says, $2 super chat. Since you DM Discord something, thoughts if they do it. Let me see what you sent over. Writers, this is from Culture Crave. It says, writers are allegedly considering taking Peter Parker and Jean Grey's relationship beyond... Oh, my God. Okay.
What?
Hold on. Let me see if this is really Culture Crave. Yeah, it's Culture Crave. But there is a community note that says that this is probably bullshit. But we talked about this. I said that I got vibes that they were trying to do some sort of love story between the two of them. But most people disagree with me on that, so I just kind of let it go. But they're saying that now, I guess that there's a possibility they're going to do that in the actual, I guess, movie side of it. I don't know. Lone Wolf. I don't know how I feel about that. I didn't like the idea that they possibly do it anyway, so I was kind of against that. So, Staggerverse is absolutely not. Let's see here. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about before we get into the Lanterns discussion, which, by the way, Omega, I don't know if you care about spoilers or not for the show, or if you've watched it.
I've been kind of avoided it because I heard it wasn't great.
So, well, we'll talk about that. There's apparently going to be a TV panel from Marvel at New York City Comic-Con, which is interesting because we were under the impression that Marvel was going to be scaling back their TV presence. But now they're saying that there's a possibility we're going to get some announced projects at New York Comic-Con. So let me see. Hold on one second. Let me see. I'm going to double check just before I talk about this. Okay, so yeah, Marvel has multiple panels scheduled for New York Comic Con. It's between October 8th and 11th. Marvel television and animation is going to be on Thursday, October 8th from 4:15 to 5:54 p.m. Should I live stream while that's coming out, guys? I know it's early in the day, but that's on my time zone. So 4:15 to 5:54 would be like actually 4:15 to 5:54 because it's in New York. We could do a live stream where we can talk about the news as it comes up. But yeah, why would they have a whole panel for that? And it's a long one. 4:15 to 5:54, that's a lot. It says they're going to talk about X-Men 97, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and the future. Because, like, if we're talking about Vision Quest, X-Men, and Spider-Man, that's not going to take up that much time. There has to be some other stuff they're going to be talking about. There has to be. Huh. So we might get some TV side announcements from Marvel, which I think would be kind of exciting. Let's see, Cameron. We'll see if we can squeeze that trailer in at the end because I keep pushing back the Lanterns discussion, and I feel like people are waiting for that. And that's a trailer for a Paramount Plus show, so we'll take a look at that later on. Scott Buck doing secret. What? Wow! Look, 2 comments about Secret Invasion. Jonathan says Vision Quest comes out a few days after New York City Comic Con, so they might show the first episode. Yeah, they might. It's possible. We got a new subscriber that subscribed while I'm live. It doesn't usually happen. But shout out to Pearl, who just subscribed. Thank you so much. You should be able to chat in like 5 minutes. I have it set to 5 minutes. It's just a little deterring for the trolls because they typically get annoyed when they have to sit and wait. So, all right. We are 1 super chat away in the Debunks channel from getting 2 of these options on the poll. If you haven't voted on the poll, by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4 to whichever one you want me to talk about. We can do number 1, which is a separate stream myself, or 2, 3, 4, which is a group chat, if you're interested in that. And I guess whenever Darren returns, we'll jump into Lanterns. But before we talk about the episode, you say you've heard it was bad. Who are you listening to telling you it's bad?
Just stuff from Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I was
gotta stop listening to that stuff.
Yeah, that was kind of like, well, I was like, oh, it's bad. Okay, fine, never mind.
I will tell you this.
To begin with, but if y'all saying it's good, I'll give it a shot.
It's only 2 episodes in, so it's not a huge investment. I would say watch the first episode. Happy birthday, Jose. Have a good night. I would say watch the first episode, and you'll know right away if it's for you or if it's not for you. So Omega does not listen to Nerdrotic, but he's probably hearing people on social media that are doing the Nerdrotic shit on Twitter.
Not really, because I can point that stuff out. It's kind of like when people just say like, "Oh, this show isn't all that good." I was like, "Oh, really? Okay." I mean, because like I said, it's not on my radar to begin with, so it's like, "Oh, it's not bad." Oh, that's unfortunate.
I will say that I have had people who I know IRL. I know this is anecdotal, but I feel like it's important because I do think people might be experiencing the same thing other places. I've had people that aren't typically into the DC stuff that watched the first couple of episodes of Lanterns and they've loved it. So it's tapping into an audience outside of the normal bubble, which is why I think it's doing so well on streaming, because we know that normal bubble isn't always super supportive of these projects. So I think a lot of people that wouldn't normally watch DC stuff are tuning in for the Lanterns TV show. And it's not even really my bag. Like, it's not my cup of tea of something that I would watch typically. But I like Kyle Chandler. I like Aaron Pierre. I think they're doing a good job on the show. And the mystery has me intrigued. Like, even if you subtract the Lantern lore out of it, like, I think the general concept of the show, the mystery of the show, is actually pulling a lot of people in. So Anna in here says, people hate on things they don't watch. Example, Lesbian Space Princess. The internet decided to just hate on this independent Australian animated film from 1 year ago. I heard people talking about it. Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about it now. And I'm like, why are we talking about this now? Because I remember like months ago, I saw people discussing it and then it just completely dropped off the radar. And now people are talking about it again. Did it get a re-release or something? I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I've heard some people saying they really enjoyed it, but I was like, this does not look like my cup of tea at all, but I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. So that's been my attitude towards it. It's like, not for me, y'all enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. I was waiting for you to get back, Darren, because I want to talk about Lantern. So, no, it's okay. I was just asking Omega why he hadn't been watching it. Apparently some people on Instagram swayed him from watching it. Because
I really swayed him. They was like, oh, this show's bad. I was like, really? Okay, well, that sucks.
That's so weird.
Great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
All right, we got some super chats, then we'll get into Lanterns and we'll get through the stream here. I got so much to say about Lanterns episode 2, but Sega Fanboy 98 with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, which by the way clears us on both. I think we hit the goals in both chats, so 2 of the things we'll do from the poll. Exposing flat numbskull troglodytes. That's a very interesting combination of words there. If F&T's views ever hit rock bottom, will Gary quit YouTube or pivot to politics? Okay, so fun thing about Friday Night Tights is they have plateaued. So what has happened is the podcast has reached its ceiling. Like it's since 2023, which is when all this woke stuff was at its peak, right? When they were screaming and yelling, 2023 was their big year. They hit some super high numbers. And then they hit a peak, like a plateau of viewership. They've not been able to break that plateau since 2023, meaning for everybody out there who doesn't understand what I mean by ceiling or plateau, they have not gone above their highest highs in 2023 since 2023. And they've only been doing a baseline amount of views on all of their streams. This is why it doesn't matter how much money their individual clips make or any of this stuff. It's why you see them doing like 5 clips about how much Supergirl sucks within the same 3 days, because they just need to get it out into the algorithm and put out as much as they can. It's now become quantity over quality for them in uploaded content. So we're seeing an influx of that. But the podcast itself has plateaued. So I don't know if it'll ever hit rock bottom. And if it did, it would probably take years for it to hit rock bottom. What you might see, this is my prediction, and my predictions about this are usually correct, is they will end up making it harder to watch the stream for free. They will eject all of the people that aren't tipping, all the people that aren't paying to watch. They'll eject all of them. They'll put it behind a semi-paywall for only their highest tippers. And viewership numbers will not matter. It won't factor in. They're just looking for their whales and their highest tippers to come in and tip them for content. That's what would happen. That's how they would shift from that. The same thing we're seeing done at like theme parks and stuff like that. Like Disney now is going, hey, are you middle class? Are you poor? Are you the poors? We don't want you to come to Disney. Now we're going to make it so that people who are in that upper middle or lower rich class are the only ones coming to the park, where they don't have to see the poors. The poors can only come on 2 days a week before 6 o'clock. Everybody else, you're just fucking out of luck. That's what will happen to these kinds of streams. They will subtract the people viewing for free, and they will only make content for people who are paying for them. But thank you for your super chat. Zach here with a $9.99 super chat says, I thought Green Lantern episode was good. I don't see what the big deal is about the woman that Jon Stewart met at the bar. I thought from what people said, she was in a walker. In a walker? Was there something about that I'm missing?
She was. I mean,
in Walker, as in Walker the TV show,
I thought,
or Walker as in like somebody with a
wheelchair?
disability. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I know some people were making like Walking Dead comparisons, like during the hospital when there's like no patients. I guess spoilers. Sorry for anyone who hasn't seen it, but it's like it was very like Walking Dead. So maybe they mean, I don't know.
Oh, calling her old, so saying she was an older character or whatever. I get it. Got it.
She's
So
grandma. Yeah.
Yeah. So my issue with this is, what's the problem with that? Like, what's the problem with him being with someone who's older?
The issue isn't she's older. The issue is she's married.
That's true. And that she's possibly taking information back to her husband as well. That's also the issue with that. They're calling her a hag. Was the saying all kinds like, first of all, if we're let's be extremely like surface level here. She's not an unattractive woman. Like,
Very attractive. Yes.
so I don't even know what that means, right? Like, I'm not even sure what they mean by that. But I really love when guys who are like 3s call like 8s and 9s ugly. That's always funny to me. Like, you're not getting the punani anyway. Like, you're not hooking up with any of these hot women. You couldn't even get a grandma. Like, the best thing you can get is one of those like rubber things you order off of Amazon that isn't attached to a person. Like, that's the best thing you can do. And you're on here calling a woman a hag. You're calling them old. Like, quite literally, the closest relationship you have is with your hand. So what are we doing? Like, I'm calling it as I see it. Like, when you're a 3, you don't need to speak to 8s. Like, you're hitting above your weight class. I mean,
the conversations I see on freaking 4chan about stuff like this, it'll make your skin crawl.
it's just crazy. It's crazy. Some more super chats here. Lone Wolf with a $5 super chat. It's making me ask a lot of questions like WandaVision did. It's giving me that spark again, which I like about it. Yes. So the one thing I love about Lanterns is it's not only giving me WandaVision vibes, it's giving me like Flash season 2, season 3 vibes, because we're watching a show. They poo-poo it like it's a mystery box show. Oh, it's a mystery. Like, well, how dare they ask questions or whatever. This is the kind of TV that makes good conversation online. It's the kind of stuff that people like to talk about. They would go on and on and on. And when I say they, I'm talking about like people who just attack stuff to attack it. They would go on and on and on about how boring something is. But when you give them something that's interesting and that people want to talk about, then it's too conceptual, and that makes it not good.
Yeah.
I don't understand that criticism. That criticism makes no sense to me. Go ahead, Darren, what are you going to say?
Yeah, I feel like, and I don't mean to like generalize, because I know a lot of people are enjoying it and are liking it, but I think people have forgotten what TV used to be like. We've had so many event television shows, these like 6-episode, every episode has a massive fight scene and these massive moments. They're structured like movies, the Stranger Things, the big Marvel stuff, the Netflix stuff, The Boys, Invincible to a point, where it's like, no, this show reminds me of the Losts, of the like Fringe, of like that genre of show, before the era of streaming. And I some people are liking it, obviously, but I think people need to understand this is season 1, right? I shout out to Arrow. I've been making a lot of like Arrow comparisons. Season 1 of Arrow was a man with a bow, and that was it. Season 8, he's a god, and he's saving the multiverse, and he's doing this thing, and I'm like, I think people need to let the show evolve at its own pace. There's nothing wrong with having a somewhat slow burn first season that over the course of the season gets higher stakes, higher threats, higher concepts, and stuff like that. But no, I'm loving this show.
By the way, yeah, go ahead. No, you finish.
Like, I'll go on Twitter and it'll just be rows of like, this sucks, this is boring, this is awesome. I'm like, I'm having that time of my life. I think this is fantastic television.
It's the first TV show, and this includes the Marvel shows. It's the first superhero TV show since the CW shows that I feel like is actually doing like mystery the way I remember mystery.
Yeah.
Like, that's for me. I just looked up the actress who plays Macon's wife. Her name's Porna. She's 53. So she's not some over the hill woman,
No.
which by the way, Kyle Chandler is 60. And if he were fucking somebody, nobody would have a problem with that. So why is it a problem if she's having sex with somebody?
That's
So
funny.
a 60-year-old man can be laying the pipe and that's okay. But she's out here doing her thing, and like 499 super chat from Zach says, yeah, they made it sound like she was 100 years old, and yeah, there's no issue with her age. There isn't, which is the point I'm making here is that if Kyle Chandler were hitting it from the back and doing rodeo noises, they would be like, oh yeah, go for it, Hal. But this woman has sex with somebody, and they're like, how dare a grandmother have sex with somebody? Like, he's older than she is by 7 years.
I've seen people hyping him up, like hyping him, like, yeah, you get it, John. Like, I like, the memes are funny. Like, I think the like respectful memes about the like, yeah, it's grandma, you know, like I think that's funny. But let's not attack the actress for, yeah, that's very silly.
Yeah, Mega's got his hand up. I'm sure he's got something really interesting to say.
I'm not familiar with the actress or the show. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but just judging from this conversation, because I've heard this crap before, and it's, well, how can I say this without getting you demonetized?
You want me to pull up a picture of her? Let me find a recent picture of her.
Yeah. I'm trying to word this without getting you demonetized. I'm pretty sure that people. Oh yeah, actually, let me see who this is before I actually say this.
Objectively attractive women.
Yeah, so here is a picture of her from a week ago on Instagram. Let me share this.
And they call her a hag.
This is what she looks like.
And this is the hag that they're talking about.
This is the hag grandmother they're talking about, yeah.
Okay, yep, that solidifies exactly what I thought. Okay, yeah, the people who are calling her a hag don't like.
Look, this is her. Look how beautiful she is.
Yeah, now the people saying this don't like women above the age of 12.
Wow.
They like children.
That was hardcore. Damn.
I've been on 4chan since 2002. I've heard this type of rhetoric and bullshit before. And every time, these are the people who will go on freaking lolly threads and start posting a bunch of bullshit. Like, those are the type of people who are saying that crap.
But look, let me pull this back a little bit, by the way, because I want to make this very clear. Even if this person were not, like, objectively by Hollywood standards an attractive woman, she still doesn't deserve to have these guys talking shit about her. So I just want to be clear about that. Like, she's obviously a very beautiful woman phenotypically. Like, she looks beautiful even by modern industry standards. But even if she were not conventionally attractive and she did something else that made her beautiful unconventionally, she still doesn't deserve to be, like, harassed by these guys. Like I just want to put that out there because I know people want me to be specific about it. So yeah, I just need to be clear. Daniel here with 100 SEK, which I think that's, hold on, what is that?
It's about $10.
No, it's a yellow, so it's definitely 20, but it's either 10 or 20, right? So it's in that range. Congrats on the Big 10. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. And your super chat. I don't know every currency in the world, but I know the colors. So but thank you so much. I do appreciate it, Daniel. We worked hard to get there. So
sorry. But what Sector was talking about earlier. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if they started calling Billy Bobby Brown past her prime now.
They already have.
You know, she's only, they have? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Even though she's like, what, 22, 23 now?
There's a big, this happens a lot with these younger actors. I think Jenna Ortega dealt with this too, where it's like, what happened to her? And it's like, she grew up.
Yeah, they're part of the
I looked it up. It's Swedish krona, which is what it is. So thank you for the Swedish krona. And it is just above $10. So it's a little bit more than $10.
I think it's about $10.
Yeah. I know with the conversion rate, it's not sure, but I knew the color was at least.
Yeah, I saw like $100. Goddamn. Oh no, wait, that's another currency.
Well, I got 1,000 the other day, so there you go.
Okay, all
That,
right.
but it wasn't really. You were here. It wasn't like it was
Let's
1,000.
just
and
pretend it was.
some other
Let's
currency.
just say
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
funny. I'm happy for anything that anybody wants to toss my way. I appreciate you guys so much. The sheriff is way hotter than the grandma. Well, I mean, I'm not really like Jason.
The
You can compare if you want. But I was like,
The whole cast is hot. Everyone is hot. All the characters are hot. Leave it at that.
how come these weird? Because Sydney Sweeney dog whistles white supremacy. So that's why. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you, right?
Yeah.
All right, so
before all that stuff, was she?
what was that?
Cindy wasn't even with all that. She was just tired. At least I hope not. Was she? I don't know.
Sydney Sweeney for me isn't like an egregious person that gets involved with everything, but she's definitely okay with like skating the boundaries.
She's on
She's
that
like
line.
just I don't fucking care. I think she's just ambivalent towards most of that stuff.
She's like the friend of yours that might eat gum off the wall. Like she's one of those people. You know what I mean? Like you never know. Like she might have dinner normally, but then sometimes she might eat dried gum off the wall. You just never know with people like that. So, my jeans are blue, right? Yeah. Yeah. My jeans are gray.
She was
Yeah,
like
jean
I'm
gray.
saying the line,
Jean
whatever
gray.
they pay me, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, she knows why she's popular. She gets it. We got a $5 super chat from CJ. I'm super glad Millie won the best actress in a superhero movie. She's doing Aussies proud. Thank you for calling out the outrage from the grifters as well. My issues with Supergirl have nothing to do with Millie in the movie. I actually think Millie was, in my opinion, the best part of the movie, along with Ruthie. I don't remember the actress's name, but Ruthie, the character. They carried what they could of that movie, the script in the film. So no issues with that. I think the weakest parts of the movie, unfortunately, were the villains and Lobo. Like I think all of that sort of, Krim wasn't great. Lobo was kind of unnecessary. But again, outside of that, because we live in a world where shitbags are here, she didn't deserve to be attacked for how she looks or how she was acting on the red carpet. Like that's, again, dumb shit. All right, we're going to get into spoilers for Lanterns episode 2. If you haven't seen it yet and you don't want spoilers, it's your time to dip out. And if you have seen it and you want to chat with us, you can stay. Let me go ahead and put up the banner so people know when they come in. Lanterns spoilers. Omega hasn't seen it, but he says he doesn't care about spoilers. So here we go. I got a few notes over here. We'll do the notes and then we'll talk about what we thought of the episode. The investigation deepens as John and Hal follow a trail of fragmented memories and localized energy anomalies back to the local malicious perimeter, leading to a direct mention in the visual cues. We get Manhunter's lore, by the way, which is kind of cool. Let's see. We got the... actually, you know what? We'll go ahead and do this first. Let's jump into the controversy around the conversation between the grandma and John when he comes back to Rushville. I know we're going to be discussing this out of order, but I want to get this out of here now while we talk about it with this conversation they had. So apparently, because the two of them have a conversation about being people of color in a primarily white part of the country, somehow the show is racist now. On a conversation between the two of them that didn't affect anybody else. That's a lot of the discourse right now is because of that.
Wait.
In episode 2, the conversation that they had, Macon's wife and John in the diner.
Okay. How is it racist again?
Hold on, I want to find. I forget what her name is. I want to make sure what her character's name is.
I feel like I missed this whole side of the. I haven't seen anything about this.
I'm tired of calling her his wife. I want to know what her name is. Zoe. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. So Zoe and John have a conversation in the diner when he comes back. And, he's obviously had a tough time because of everything that's happened. And we'll jump into that. But they talk about how she navigates her world, as a woman of color married to a white man in Nebraska. And she says, and this is really important, that it's the closeness to that world, like being in that world where even though she's a POC, she's close to the white privilege, and therefore her skin color isn't a factor in this world because she's got that proximity to the whiteness or the white people, which is something we see a lot when you're in part of a marginalized community, whether it be a black person, a POC, a woman, a trans person, a gay person. You exist in that space as a tokenization of that person, and you are protected by your proximity to the supremacy. So she's discussing that from her point of view. John, and we'll talk about why he feels this way, doesn't necessarily trust Hal right now because of everything that happened in the episode. And so he's talking about what it's like in his situation as a black man while navigating the world with Hal, who is this beloved white superhero. And it's a very quick, it's not even a long conversation. It's like maybe 2 minutes, if I'm being generous, of the episode. It's such a tiny scene. And all it's doing for us, the viewers, is giving us an idea of the motivations of these characters existing in a place where it might be difficult for them to be there because of what they look like. And keep in mind, the people that are mad about this are the same ones that are judging her based on how she looks as a 53-year-old woman. So it's like they're giving her shit for how she looks. In the show, she's addressing in real time on how she navigates the world because of how she looks. And they're like, but no, she shouldn't talk about that. So it's this weird objectification and ownership of this woman in this world and of black people in this world, which is really strange. There's a lot of internet discourse about that. I think it's dumb. I think it's stupid. It didn't affect anybody outside of the two of them. They were having a conversation quietly at a table together. It wasn't like he was saying this to Hal. It wasn't like she was saying this to Macon. None of this was happening between these characters and anybody else. It was two POC characters having this conversation with each other. So I don't even know why people are getting upset about it. Zero says, correction, Zoe says she wanted the safety of being near her husband. I was paraphrasing what she was saying, but safety does come with proximity, right? So like her getting the advantage of that safety is the white privilege element of it, is what she was talking about. But you're correct. She used the word safety. I didn't, but I was paraphrasing what she was saying. Thank you for bringing that up. Darren, any thoughts on this scene before we talk about the rest of the episode? I wanted to get that out of the way very quickly.
Think about it for a second. None of that left a lasting impact on me. That feels like that scene's addressing racism. Sure, like that's part of the narrative. That doesn't make the scene racist, though. That's just
no.
That's
but apparently Damon Lindelof, Chris Mundy, Tom King, all of those are pushing Hollywood racist ideology by having this scene in there, which, by the way, this might be the only scene we get in the whole series where it's an issue. This might be the only time. It's so crazy. All right, so we find out that I'm trying to remember the order of the events that are happening here. So I know that we have the beginning. I think the beginning is where Hal is trying to recharge the lantern, and he doesn't have to recharge the ring. He doesn't have his lantern. Mm-hmm. So he needs to send John to get it at his house. And he's also training John on how to fly. I don't know why he's trying to train John on how to fly when the ring was down to 5%. That's another conversation for another day, I guess. I'm like, that's really fucking dangerous. But he's trying to train him on how to fly, and he creates a bird construct. Now, the weird thing, and this happens throughout the episode, people bring it up, is the bird construct persist even when John takes the ring off and gives it back to Hal. That's pretty weird. And it makes me wonder, as we see this bird last through the entirety of the episode pretty much, is there some connection to John and the Manhunters, like from his childhood? Because we know we're going to get an episode where his mother, I think it's his mother, ends up interacting with the Manhunters. At least one of them. So I wonder, and now it brings into perspective, was his dad training him to be a lantern this whole time?
That's what I think.
So you think that his dad has been training him? Or he was training him, I guess.
I hope so. If not, he's just trying to shoot an apple off his son's head for.
Yeah, it puts that in perspective, right? If we find out that he's doing that, there was a reason. Like, he was still a shit parent anyway, even if he was training to be a lantern. You're trying to shoot something off your son's head. But at least we'd have a reason for why, right? Like, we would know why he was doing it. It doesn't excuse it.
No.
But, it explains why.
It also made sense, like, how he talked to him. It's like, who is it? Like, what's his name? And so it seems like they were preparing and trying to find those out as much as possible. And it seems like next week may be based on that. Like, it seems like next week is all about, like, the backstory of Jon Stewart and how maybe he became like, how he was chosen and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. I think we're going to get a Jon-specific story next week, because I think we're going to either jump back or jump ahead to 2026. Or either go back to his childhood. Actually, I think we might go back to his childhood anyway, because we're going to see flashbacks. But I think it might take place primarily in 2026. So we might see an episode with not a lot of Hal in it, except for in the flashbacks, maybe. But Jon, while he is getting the lantern out of this, I think it's really interesting. We're still dealing with these multi-dimensional spaces that exist within DC, because the lantern is stored in like a weird multi-dimensional space or whatever. He gets kidnapped by these guys. We don't know who they are. But we find out there's an alien named Antan, Antaan. I don't know if he says it in the episode, but the subtitles had it on there. Who a lot of people are saying is supposed to be Atrocitus from the comics. I don't know if that's true or not, but the story is very similar to Atrocitus. But we get this character who kidnaps him and then basically brainwashes him a little bit by putting this little device on his head that gives him the feelings and I guess some of the memories of people who have been wiped out by the Manhunters. And so he does now feel somewhat emotionally affected by this. And I think this is what adds a little bit of weight into his issue with Hal and whether or not he trusts him, because, this group convinces Jon that the Guardians are the ones that have something to do with this Manhunter on Earth and why it's being protected, and whether or not Hal is covering stuff up. What are your thoughts on this? Because I like this idea that we may be looking at sort of a triple fake out of some sorts of like the Guardians are, supposed to be space cops, or they created space cops, but they also created the Manhunters before the space cops, which were the original space cops. But now they have to cover up these Manhunters because they know they wiped out people. So now they have their own space cops defending and protecting the failures that they had. So it's like this triple fake out of like what's going on.
Yeah, I'm curious. I feel like I'm curious as we get through the season, because there's clearly going to be this character is actually a Manhunter. Oh God, who's it going to be? There's a lot of theories right now that Hal is secretly a Manhunter this whole season, which is something I'm actually kind of subscribing to, because I don't know how you feel about the ending of last week's episode.
Ronan has arrived.
Oh, Ronan.
Yo.
But I mean, speaking of who he has in his profile, I don't think he's dead. I'm thinking that's a Manhunter.
Well,
that'd be nice.
But let me tell you, Ronan, I'm going to ask you how you're doing, but I want to get this out before I forget about it. If he ends up not being dead, it's going to be the biggest fuck you to all of these channels that have been going so hard against the show over the last couple of weeks now. I actually said in my video today that I hope he's not dead, just because it would make them look stupid. Like, I'm okay. Yeah. Look, I grew up with Hal Jordan. He was the Lantern that I followed in the 80s, right? So he was the guy that I was behind as a kid. All my toys were Hal Jordan toys. But I don't mind that they killed him off, as long as it makes sense within the narrative and it serves the story. I don't have an issue with that. But some people are acting like Jon Stewart isn't a lot of people's Green Lantern. There's so many people that they watch Jon Stewart for like 15 years. That's their Green Lantern, And there's some people where they're like, Kyle Rayner is my Green Lantern, or, Jessica is my Green Lantern. There's so many people that have their own specific Green Lantern. Guy Gardner, also a lot of people's favorite Green Lantern. So I would love for the fake out to happen, just primarily to get under their skin. I'm okay with whatever they do as long as it makes sense within the show. But if they brought out that he was a manhunter, or there was an alien impersonating him, and maybe it wasn't a manhunter, it was just another alien species that looks like him or whatever, I would be okay with that. With that being said, though, Ronan, how are you doing? And we're talking spoilers for Lanterns episode 2, so I don't know if you've seen it yet or not. I'm assuming you have.
Are you kidding me? Of course, this is the show right now. I'm watching. I'm doing okay. I literally was recording today and making thumbnails, and right now I'm literally rendering an interview me and Darren did last week, and and I took a nap because I was like, all right, I'm just letting it render, and I woke up from the nap, and I'm like, let me look up any Lantern stuff, and then I saw you guys. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll jump in for a little bit and see how they feel about the show. But yeah, I fucking love the show.
Mm-hmm.
I, much like everybody, was bummed out to see that final that shot, no pun intended, of episode 1. But I'm hoping that secretly he's probably like in the pocket dimension, stuck, and that like he makes it out the end, and him and Carrie like retire and just be like, all right, I did my thing. John, it's your turn. Go for it. But if not, I agree. Again, I grew up with Jon Stewart. Kyle Rayner's my Green Lantern, but I grew up with Jon Stewart via the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited series. So I'm okay if he has to go, as long as it's earned and it's worth it. If it's just to make a character be the next one, I feel that kind of cheapens the rise of Jon Stewart. But as long as it makes sense and it's not just to pass the torch deliberately, I hope there's more to it than just that.
So Lone Wolf here with the $2 super chat says running theory is the wife is the Manhunter. I've actually heard theories that everybody except John is the Manhunter. I heard
she is Sinestro's daughter.
Oh,
because
really?
Sinestro has a daughter in the comics who has a semi-similar name. It's more alien-like, which would be apropos. But like, people are like, what if she's Sinestro's daughter? I'm like, that would be kind of cool.
My favorite Lantern is Larfleeze. Like I love Agent Orange because he's the only one. So
yeah, I have a soft spot obviously for Kilowog, much like everybody else. Tomar-Re. Chip is a weird one that I'm also like, yeah, I want to see Chip. And the last consistent Green Lantern thing I read a little bit of the first few issues of Grant Morrison's Green Lantern, which that one's buck wild. And then when DC Rebirth started, I picked up the Sam Humphrey one where it had Jessica Cruz and Simon Bass together, and I was like, wow, 2 Green Lanterns at the same time. I'm like, all right. And so there's a vast lineage with the Lantern. And I also have a soft spot for Guy Gardner when he's utilized perfectly. When it's too much, it feels too much. But like for example, the Superman movie, I think it was used perfect, and much like Peacemaker and hopefully in Lanterns, but we shall see.
By the way, before we continue, shout out to Chronic for a $1 donation. Thank you, Chronic. I appreciate the $1.
I love that album.
My favorite Lantern is the one played by, I think it's David Ramsey.
That Lantern, right?
Green Lantern.
Does that count?
Right. Yeah, whichever one that was. So we have the situation where he goes and he brings the Lantern back to Hal. And Hal then has to charge it and say the oath. And you can tell when he's saying the oath, he's over it. Like, he is over being Green Lantern. And this is why when Ronan, you said maybe he's just like, I'm good chilling or whatever, like after he gets out of the pocket dimension and whatnot. Yeah, if he's still alive, I think he's totally okay with just like letting somebody else be Green Lantern. I actually think that's where it's at with him.
And also, if this is the true Hal Jordan, even the way he says the oath in Brightest Day and Blackest Night, even just like all that quick, it tells you a lot about even when Carrie the Sheriff brings up Sinestro, of like Green Lantern has been both a gift and a curse for this dude, because he had to do stuff like put down his own trainer, or not put down, but like arrest his own trainer, who was a mentor and a friend, I would assume, and how much just the identity of being Green Lantern weighs in on him. And I think Carrie is to an extent right that he is lonely. and he never dealt with it. And now when he sees stuff like John's construct, that gives him a new thing to be on the lookout for. And so I was fascinated by that. I love how even John just throws the bag at him when he sees he's all bruised up from the shot. He just throws the bag at him to catch it. Like,
well, speaking of that, we have Hal and the sheriff. I think Sheriff Kane, I think is her last name. They decide to go and approach Macon.
Yes.
And things aren't very good because she's like, let me do all the talking. Of course, Hal doesn't and ends up getting shot by the guy on site or whatever because he threatens him with the ring and the guy takes the shot anyway. But it's more of like a stay the fuck away from me shot than a I'm going to murder you shot. And since it's Nebraska and the guy was trespassing, I think they had the legal right to shoot. So that's probably not a problem in Rushville. So he has to recover from that. So he's sore already by the time that John gets back. I think it's going to be really interesting going into the next episode with where John is now, because I don't know. I know that we're going to do some flashbacks to John's childhood and we're going to do some 2026 stuff. I don't know how much 2016 we're going to get next week. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I want to do a shout out to Earl, the plant, the meat eating plant that was there.
Was sick.
I don't know, in chat, let me know. I don't remember that creature from anything in DC Comics. Is that like original for the show, or is that something that that's a Easter egg? I don't know what that is.
I can't speak on comics. It's probably somewhere in comics. It reminded me of the plant from the Harley Quinn show, though. The Ivy's little plant pet, Frank. I think was his name. Probably no relation, but I was like, praying mantis. I
do know that someone brought up that Hal in the Silver Age did collect plants, though, even if that one isn't one specifically from the comics. So Lone Wolf, I looked it up before the stream. I couldn't find anything named Earl from the comics that was that plant. So if somebody has something they can send it over. Yeah, I know he had a plant, a creature called Itty Bitty, I think, or Itty, something like that. But I don't remember much about that. Volpe says Jon Stewart was in a cartoon millennials were aware of. That's why these grifters pretend they know him. Yeah, so that's the thing is, I said that in my video about this, was that Jon Stewart was the cartoon lantern that was in most of the shows. So a lot of kids that grew up watching the show that didn't read the comics know Green Lantern as Jon Stewart. Like, that's the character they know. Hal was in some of those cartoons, but John was in a lot more of the popular ones. So you didn't get a lot of him as the main lantern. So there's that. Jaybird says he also has a sidekick with a very questionable and politically incorrect name. Oh, I don't want to look that up then. But one of the things we do get is we get to see some off-world stuff. And this is where the episode sort of leaves us hanging. We see Hal fly off of Earth, and we see him arrive on, I don't know what the name of that planet was. I don't think they said it. Did they say it in the episode? I don't think they did.
No, I don't think so.
It's like a prison planet. He arrives there, and we get to meet Sinestro, who is incarcerated there. By the way, I know some people have been trying to clown on the way Sinestro looks. I think he looks great. He looks like an older Sinestro. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I think he looks great in the episode. So no issues there. But I'm curious to see what they're going to talk about when it comes to the Manhunters, because apparently Sinestro knows a lot about it because of his closeness to Abin Sur, which I believe is what we're going to find out. Well, if they follow the comics. I know Sinestro and Abin Sur were close in the comics. I don't know if the show they're going to do that or not, but we'll find out. Let's see here.
I also love how it felt. Yeah, it felt very like Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I love that we might get that soon. And also, I tell people, like, if people are like about the makeup at all, this isn't prime Sinestro. Like, this isn't Mark Strong Sinestro, which I would say is the only best part of that first movie.
True.
Like it's not that same generation. So I'm very good to see I can't say much more, but I know some stuff, so I'm ready to see how you guys feel about other stuff that's brought up.
All right. Staggermore says John was a regular on Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, which I love Justice League Unlimited, and made guest appearances on Static Shock. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So we get left on the cliffhanger about all of this. We know now that John can hold constructs, without a ring, as long as he's concentrating, which a lot of people said that might be how he's going to get his suit. Because remember, obviously Hal's suits are physical. They're hanging up in his closet, which is how he gets it in the episode. But John can manifest his constructs, seems, for even when he's knocked out, which is really interesting. You're muted, Darren, by the way.
Sorry. Yeah, I really like the end scene there, because I think it's very open for interpretation. When he's like, "What's with the damn bird? It must mean something to you. It must mean this thing." It's just a bird, dude. I don't, it's whatever. And I think that
also
is symbolizing
that he's going to be able to make suits and things like that or whatever out of his
he's
constructs.
Stronger than how it was when he was first starting. It's wait, you can do that that easy now? I think it's going to. I think he's feeling very self-conscious about his own.
What happens? This would be a crazy change from the comics, but what happens if if John can manifest his own ring? He's connected in a way where he can just make his own ring. How would that be? Because we know that there's only the Guy Gardner has a ring. Mm-hmm. What if there's something with John where he was predestined to be a Lantern because of something the Guardians did? You know what I mean? He's just, it would change his story a lot, but it would be really interesting if he's just so powerful, he can make his own ring.
Let's just say that there are images, and it's a teaser for next week's episode that maybe alludes to that stuff, which is intriguing as hell. I'm because I've heard the theory that what if
he wouldn't even need to recharge. He wouldn't need to recharge. He could just manifest his own ring.
Well, that's the thing that I don't know if I've ever seen a manifested ring in the comics. They must have at some point, but I know the first time a ring that was given to someone on Earth that became a Lantern that didn't need fully recharging was Kyle Rayner. He was given the quote unquote last ring of Oa, and so that ring never really fully needed to be recharged. So I'm interested to see how they balance that stuff out, I think. But I think, we're going to get him in his own suit. You saw how he was in awe of the suits when he asked Hal, should I bring this with me or not? And that felt very, a wholesome moment.
There's that fantastic shot when he puts the suit over his body and he's looking in the mirror.
Well, that's one of the suits I was going to, that's one of the things I was going to put it in the thumbnail because we're going to look at it here. Let me pull this up. So here's the shot you're talking about right there where he's got it over his body or whatever. People were talking about that we're cooked because we could have had this, but we got this instead.
Ew.
And I was which one do we like better?
The one on the right.
The whole point is it's an old busted up suit. I don't know what people aren't getting about that. He's been Green Lantern for what, 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's old and weathered. We saw the maybe that's for next week's episode, but we see the
Chris says Darren prefers 2011.
I don't hate that suit. I don't think it's a bad suit, but
it looks very limited by the technology of that era. They were doing this full CGI costume back when Marvel was still doing partially CGI costumes. They were doing full on Iron Man nanotech suits in 2011.
I don't think either of these are the worst suits, but both could be better. Actually, I
don't think John's going to even have this suit. I think John's suit is going to be completely different.
I like the flashback suit, or the look of that one. Did you see that one, Eric? The one from next week's episode? Yeah,
we're going to see it in next week's episode. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Actually, I'll try and find it. If you can find a picture of it, we'll pull that up.
I have it.
Yeah.
In the flashback sequence with. Okay.
I know people are pointing out that John in the comics under specific storylines has had the ability to use his green energy without the ring. I understand that, but a lot of times the shows don't pull from that kind of stuff. They try to create their own boundaries. I think it's going to be really interesting if they establish from the beginning of John's storyline that he can do that. That's interesting to me, and it's extremely overpowered. But we don't know in 2026 if he even has a ring. He might not need the ring at all. Like, that might be something that we find out he doesn't even use the ring. How would that, or what I say is he doesn't need it all. I mean the lantern. Like, he can make his own ring and do his own stuff without the lantern is what I'm saying.
I would like a world in like a second season where we can both have a ring.
Yeah.
Like, that is something I want. I want the show where they can both have these abilities and use it.
Because I like also the passing of the torch, meaning that like Hal's ring is now John's ring, and like I don't know, I like that element too of like I'm passing the torch to you now. Oh, that shot, that looks so cool.
That looks so
this
sick.
is the flashback suit. Yeah, he's got the mask on and everything. But I think he only wore the mask until he was outed as being Green Lantern. Like, I think from like 86 to 96, before he went on and did his interview and said who he was, he probably hid his identity. But I think at a certain point he stopped hiding it because he didn't need to anymore.
That. Like, there's so much lore, man. Like, they could easily do an Arrow style show here.
100%.
Where, like, each season we're flashing back to like the 30-year history. Like,
I said, and I think Ronan, you mentioned this too. The Green Lantern stuff from DC is like the X-Men stuff from Marvel. It's enough to fill up its own like world.
Absolutely.
So I would love to see
that
for sure.
Like, it's weird as people who have been digging the show, they're going back to watch old TV where Kyle Chandler was young, and they're like there's this one called Early Edition, and then obviously Friday Night Lights. Like, we could see him in a Green Lantern suit at age, and like try to Photoshop him from that era and in the suit. Like, man, because I do think he, like, for those who don't know, Josh Brolin was offered the role first, as Hal Jordan, and for whatever reason it didn't work out. And I think in hindsight it was a good thing that like they didn't go down that route, because Kyle Chandler fits Hal Jordan like a glove.
Oh yeah, well, I can't see anybody else like Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan in this show, and Aaron Pierre as John Stewart. I don't think I could see anybody else already playing these characters. I feel like they are the characters.
Yeah. They're the best casting thus far in the DC universe. I love all the other castings, but these two are the best ones thus far.
So, not spoiler related. We're going to drop the spoiler banner now, but related to Lanterns, and then we're going to have to wrap up the stream because we're coming up on the 2 hour and 30-minute mark. By the way, while we're doing this, I'm going to pull the. Actually, let's move some people around here. We're going to show that, and then we're going to move Darren back here, but we're going to make the chat tiny on that side. There we go. You guys vote on the poll 1, 2, 3, or 4 on what you want. We're going to do 2 of these because you guys hit both goals tonight. Thank you so much for that. So there's an interview with Damon Lindelof where he talks about not being vigilant to the source material. That has a lot of these hater channels crashing out about the show because he's saying that there's some things are going to change and some things are not going to change, right? And I made the argument that you can't be serious about fidelity and source material vigilance when you're okay with stuff like Infinity War and Endgame, which they're not stories from the comics. Like, they take elements of stories, but they're not from the comics. Some of that stuff is completely made up for the MCU because the characters aren't even the same in some instances. So how do y'all feel about that? Like, do you think that the source material, in order for it to be good, these projects, and I know what the answer is for most people, but I want to just kind of open the floor for it. Do you think that they have to be one for one the same, or are you okay with an adaptation taking a lot of liberties with these characters? Like, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't think there's ever been a 1-for-1. Like, I can't think of, at least on like the big screen, on these big blockbuster movies and shows, where they've done a 1-for-1 from the books to the movie or show. Like, there's always liberties. There's always And if there wasn't, you could just read the comic. Like, the comic is there.
Exactly.
You're using these books as a blueprint, as an inspiration, but at some point you do have to add your own flavor. Like, that's what art is. Like, art is getting inspired by what has come before, but then making your own special sauce. Because then it'd just be, well, you're just copying. You're just doing the same thing that, you know, these writers did 20 years ago. You know, and again, there's a balance, right? If you're, you know, if Hal Jordan had a mohawk and he's actually a Pink Lantern now, and he rides a hoverboard, and, you know, like, you know, there is a too far, right? We've seen stuff like Halo, like the Halo show, where it's like, okay, clearly you went probably too far from the source material, and you have to reel them back a little bit. But inspiration, I think, is
Arrow's a good example. That show sparked a whole universe, and it's nothing like the Green Arrow storyline. Zack Snyder's DCEU is nothing like anything from DC. I want to point out here, Xana says, I mean, there are adjustments and there is changing someone's personality entirely. I still think that's fair. I think it's fair to do that as long as it serves the story. If what you're doing is good and it serves the story, then I'm okay with that. A prime example for me is Jean Grey in Spider-Man Brand New Day, right? I don't like the bigger landscape of what that means for the mutants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm still apprehensive about it. But they changed her drastically in Spider-Man, but it worked in the movie. Because that Jean Grey is not anything like a Jean Grey that we've seen in the comics, at least not in any of the classic comics. So I'm okay with that as long as it serves the story.
I think they are, like, someone I think did mention that, like, the closest we've probably gotten was Zack Snyder's Watchmen, but even then, taken with the theatrical cut, the director's cut, which is my favorite version of it.
But they changed the ending of that too. So
they changed the ending. There was no squids. There's a lot of stuff they cut out. The stuff with the artist, the comic, which you know, I'm fine with the pirate comic not being part of, but like, I think, and also if they do change the personalities of the characters, then that's a choice you have to do. Like, you have to make. Like, if you want to stick with this movie or show and see how it ends, or it's not for you and you don't have to watch. You just walk away. The original source material is right there. I think that you do have to have the freedom to do that, but also when you're rocking the boat just to rock the boat or just to mess with the audience, then, like, or you're playing with fire, then, you know, it's like, what's that quote from Pulp Fiction? You play with matches, you're gonna get burned. That's up to you if you're willing to get burned or not. And I think that, like, with a lot of these adaptations, this is not the last time we're going to do, like, for Batman, perfect example. They're going to be making Batman stuff to the ends of times. And there's plenty of ways you can do versions of the character, styles, and you shouldn't be just limited to one. I mean,
look at Batman, Cape Crusader, and Absolute Batman. Vastly different versions of Batman, but both are good in their own way. So it's like,
exactly.
Or Matt Reeves' Batman, the Robert Pattinson's version. So
and there are some stuff that are almost like one-offs, if you will, like Watchmen. Where I'm like, okay, if you change too much, you are effing with the material. And then there's some stuff where, like, the HBO show saying we're not adapting the book, or our story's taking place after the events of the book. If you want to watch it or not, that's up to you. And Damon Lindelof went out of his way to tell you that, like, if you're an Almore purist, respect his wishes. But if you're willing to cross the line to check out what we do, you might be into what we're doing. And so there are proof of concepts and proof of, like, ways you can go about doing stuff.
It's interesting.
Right. So wait, very briefly, I want to bring this up and then go. YouTube Noob says Spider-Man Brand New Day cracked 2 billion despite being different from the comics. Yeah,
I was just about to bring up Spider-Man because, like, Spider-Man No Way Home, I thought would have taught a lesson to people that because Tobey is not how I view Spider-Man, and Andrew Garfield, they were doing some very different stuff, and Tom, they diverse from the source material quite a bit, and we never would have been able to have a Spider-Man No Way Home where all three of these characters are teaming up together if they're like, no, this is how it works in the comics, and this is how it is to a T, but them all being these different takes on the characters and their own individual flavors and styles is what makes them all so special.
What about you, Omega? Because you've had X-Men PTSD from like the Fox era, so.
So I kind of I thought y'all still talking about Flanders for a second. So y'all on Spider-Man?
Well, we're saying the topic was, because we're wrapping it up, is do you think that in order for something to be good, it has to be completely, the fidelity has to be there between the source material and the project, like one for one? Or can they try different things and it works for you? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because that's one of the complaints about Lanterns, is that it doesn't follow the source material.
Oh, okay, I see. No, it can have some changes because I mean, if you deviate too much, then it's like it's not even the source material anymore. But like with the X-Men, the first few X-Men, the Fox X-Men movies, they deviated too much, and while they may have been decent superhero movies, they weren't good X-Men movies. But now, as y'all said, with Jean Grey and Brand New Day, it does deviate. I mean, even with the Marvel stuff in general, they're still close enough to the source material that the characters are at least there, and it's the movies are still good on their own. But so it's like, it may not go one to one with the comics, but it's like, that character is still there. They're deviating a little bit, so it's still good. It's still the character I want that's on screen. So,
I think a good example of this is like X-Men 97, right? So they have a lot of the same characters, but they're all tossed around in different eras. Like they're not all together in the same era. Some of the teams aren't teamed up correctly, but it doesn't matter because they did a good job with adapting those characters in those stories. And so it makes sense, right? Because if you're not doing one for one, it is an adaptation. If you're doing one for one, then it's a translation. This is something I've argued with people before. When you are doing an adaptation requires you to change things. That's why it's an adaptation. When you're doing a translation, it means moving it from one form to another while holding as much of it the same as possible. So like what a literal translation would be if you're taking like a manga to an anime and you're not changing 99% of the story. So then you're translating that from the book to an anime. If you were taking a story like a Bleach thing, like say, because I like Bleach, I know it's not everybody's favorite, I love Bleach, but you're taking Bleach from the manga and you're creating filler content about Bleach in the anime, that is an adaptation. That's not a translation. That is something different. You're taking and you're adding things and you're changing things, right? So that's the difference between a literal translation and an adaptation. These shows that we watch are adaptations. That's what they are. They're not meant to be a literal translation of the source material. Mm-hmm. I think people they don't understand that.
Yes,
I feel like Invincible's a good example where like 90% of the time it is a adaptation of the comic. Now, or I'm sorry, that like it is a like translation where they are trying to bring the book onto the screen. Now, sometimes it is an adaptation where they'll be like, hey, let's do this thing, and it's a little different, but from like what they've said, it's like, okay, our entire point is to bring this to a larger audience that doesn't read the comics, that can see the story.
Yeah, like I tell people, like one thing that people, be like, oh, why'd you have to bring that in? It's in the comic. Why'd you bring it in? Is like Rogue and Eric's romance. It's in the comics. Some people are fans of it. Some people are not fans of it. Yeah. And how you go about utilizing it is up to you in the show. And I think 97 does a great way of utilizing it, and bringing out valid points for both arguments. And you brought up Bleach, but like one adaptation that I'm not a big fan of and was heartbroken the way they went about it, but it wasn't the end of the world for me because I had the original, was Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, I love the anime. Yeah. Jesus H Christ, that live action. It broke my heart because I could buy it from most of the cast. I could buy it, and yet the way they went about it was like, it reminds me a lot of how people in Hollywood make video game movies, and they just put in everything from the whole franchise in one movie, and it's just like, why would you? Why would you do something like that? There's a simpler way to go about these things. And sometimes, like, again, I'm not a One Piece big fan. I respect the fan base from afar, but like, I haven't read the manga, I haven't seen the anime, and from what I've heard from the live action, they do a good enough job that make it their own, but yet keep some of the spirit of what the manga and anime made it a great thing. And I think that's what 97 does, and I think that's what Lantern is doing right now.
All right. With that being said, we are coming up on the 3-hour mark, and I don't want to make it to 3. So we're going to wrap things up here. We'll cover any other topics that we didn't cover tonight on Thursday stream. Hopefully I don't lose power like I did last week, but we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for all the super chats, and let's look at the list now to see what won. So the 2 things you guys chose were a topic for me, which is worst YouTube outrage channels. Wow. 50% of y'all wanted me to cover that. So we'll do that. And the other one we're going to cover is favorite movies with women heroes. And that can be any media. It's not just superhero. It's anything with women as the hero. So
I got something to say about both of those.
yeah. So we'll do that. Lantern's trailer. Right. Yeah, we will do that. We're going to watch the preview for next week. I forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up. Let me go ahead and get that ready. Which I believe that's the shot of the Lantern suit that Darren had.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, why are you showing me Emergency Awesome's video? I was like, why is the trailer 15 minutes long? Because I forgot that he just names his videos after the trailers. It's a little annoying. I mean, I get why he does it, but it's still annoying. All right, here we go.
Can't wait, man.
Okay.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. I'm excited. All right, before we go, we're going to do shout outs as we always do. We're going to do clockwise since I think Darren's AFK. So Omega, anything you want to shout out before we wrap it up?
Nothing much really, just my DeviantArt page, Threads, Blue Sky when I remember it. If you know my other site, you know where to go. So
okay. What about you, Ronan? What's happening in your world?
Ooh, what is not happening? Lanterns every week with shorts and the reactions. And I think I'm gonna work on a live stream if we can make it work. Right now, you can see the live stream we did of last week's saying goodbye to X-Men 97, which I will be clipping out and dropping the interview tomorrow morning. Okay. You'll see that, and then Ghost in the Shell anime is coming back to cover the new one that's coming out every week, and then
I need to finish watching that.
It's so good. Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, and then I'm starting to prep already for Blade Runner 2099 and other stuff to cover down the line.
Oh my God, so good. I can't wait for that.
Be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. All right, Darren, what's happening with you? Because I know you got some announcements. I don't know if you're going to announce what we're doing this week, but you got some announcements. So
yeah, that's coming up. You can find me over at Darren Sanctuary. I got a pipeline coming out Thursday with me and Taj. We got episode 200 around the corner, so keep an eye and ear out for that. And thanks for having me. It's always a blast.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And as for me, you can catch me tomorrow on the Copecast on the Debunks channel. I have a Reloaded video going up tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. By the way, I have to give a shout out to everybody supporting both of my channels. You guys are so incredible. My Reloaded channel is doing so much better right now in terms of like YouTube's good graces. We're seeing subscriber growth. We're seeing views on videos. Thank you guys so much for doing that. And remember to hype videos. If you're watching on mobile, if you're watching right now, you can do it. You get a couple of hypes you can use every week. So if you feel like it on my videos or any videos that you're enjoying, make sure that you hype those up with you hit the like button on a mobile device, and then you can hype with the like. I don't know why they don't do that on desktop yet, but you can do it on mobile. But thank you guys so much for doing that. I got a video from today featuring Aaron Fisher, but I'm talking about Snyderverse toxicity in the DCU right now. So check that out. I do have a video coming out tomorrow again on debunks. I haven't decided what it's going to be yet, but I will be live with the Copecast as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed for that if you're on the debunks channel. And you can cross over on both channels. You can sub both channels and get content from me more than once a day. With that being said, I'm out of here because it's my show and I can do anything I want. I'm going to play my intro as the outro for about 20 seconds and we're out. See everyone.